Welcome to the Launch Masterclass lesson number 4. And I just wanted noted, this is our 4th lesson and the 4th time we have started on time to the second. So how about, when was the last time you attended any type of live stream, any type of thing that happened to the second? How about that? Let's pat myself on the back, but really pat my team on the back. They've been absolutely amazing, sort of shepherding me, getting me here, and dealing with all my dysfunctions, but putting me in front of the camera to the second on time. So lesson 4, this is going to be exciting. We're going to go for at least 2.5 hours. It'll probably be 3 hours. Who knows? It could be longer like the last one, but it's going to be great. So thank you for being here with me. I know I have people that are watching from all over the world. I really want to appreciate you for dealing with time zones and schedules. The people in Australia and New Zealand getting up super, super early. The people in Europe and the UK staying up very late. The people in between getting up in the middle of the night. The people on the East Coast letting me interrupt your dinner. The people in the mountain time zone like me in Central and Pacific dealing with being here instead of whatever else is going on in your day. So thank you for being here. We're going to have a great session. So in fact, go ahead and type in where you're dialed in from, where you're watching from, where you're calling in from. That's old school terminology. Where are you calling from? So anyways, let me know in the comments where you're watching me. I absolutely love that. And as you know, I've talked about this before, it's just me in front of a camera. I've got a small team. My team's dwindling down. We're down to a skeleton crew for the 4th lesson here. But I feed off your energy, and I get to watch your comments, and that's what allows me to bring the energy for 3 hours each one of these lessons. So we are now very close to 10 hours into the Launch Masterclass, and we've got 3 more to go here. It's going to be super cool. Really important, turn off all your distractions. We all live in a distraction-rich environment. So turn off those distractions, shut down, put your phone on silent, or better yet, turn it off. Shut down Facebook Messenger, shut down all your texting, all your messaging, just close the door, turn off the ringer on your phone if anyone still has a landline. Just prepare to focus, because this masterclass can change your life. I've had my life changed by getting some online training. I've had it changed in an incredible way, but you can't do that if you can't focus. I want you to focus. I want you to be here with me. Be with me. Be with me now. Okay, so let me just double check, see if I've got any other announcements. Facebook Live. We're streaming this live to Facebook, to the Launch Masterclass Facebook group. We're going to cut that off pretty soon. Pretty soon we're going to cut that off, and we're going to go over to our Launch Masterclass pages. It's also being broadcast on our Launch Masterclass concierge page. That's where you should be watching it, because that's where all the goodies are. That's where my team's in there answering the comments. That's where the main thread is. That's where all the action is. So what we're going to do is in about 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to turn off the Facebook Live and cut over just to the Masterclass pages. And the last time we forgot to cut over until about 45 minutes in. This time it's probably going to be 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm going to remember, because my team's got a cue for me, and I've got like 3 different notes and highlighted in yellow for myself over on my notes monitor. So if you're watching in Facebook Live or Facebook feed in the Launch Masterclass Facebook pages, cut over right now. Go to the Launch Masterclass page. That we're right there live on the concierge page. So that's about it for the little pre-roll, pre-announcement. We're going to get started right now, so buckle your seatbelts and get ready. Hey, I'm here with... So how do you take what you love to do, your passion, your profession, even your hobby, and turn it into an online business that makes you a great income, creates a real impact in the world, and gives you freedom, real freedom. Freedom to work when you want, how much you want, and work anywhere you want in the world. A business that creates income for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. How do you create a business like that? Or if you've already got an online business, how do you grow that business fast? The goal of this masterclass is to show you the things you need to know to launch a 6-figure or even 7-figure business online. And create a business where you have a great lifestyle, make a positive impact in the world, and let you do it without being hypey or slimy or scammy. And yes, you really can do it in a way so that your mom and your friends will be proud of you. It might sound like a dream, but I know it's possible because I started with nothing back in 1996. I had no experience, no knowledge, and I've built a business that's given me a great income, an amazing lifestyle, and I've helped thousands of clients from around the world. And more important than my success is my students' success. I've helped them launch and grow their businesses in hundreds of different markets and niches with all kinds of products and services and in dozens of countries and languages. Welcome to the Launch Masterclass. And whether you've got an online course, an online business, a product, a service, or a book to launch, this is the place to get your launch plan. Yay! Launch Masterclass, lesson number 4. So if you've been with me since the start of this masterclass, we're 4 lessons in. We're about 10 hours in right now. We've got 2 or 3 hours to go today in the final lesson. Amazing. It's been, what has it been? It's been about 10 days, I think, since we started this. And has your life, actually go scroll down in the comment and let me know if sort of the way you're walking through life has changed a little bit because of those last 10 hours of training. Are you looking at things a little differently than you did back then? And if you're just joining me for this is the first time, the first lesson, we've had a whole bunch of people come in. If this is the first time you're joining me here in the live Launch Masterclass, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got the replays for you so you can check out everything that you have or that you missed so you can get caught up. But stick with me right here because this is going to be a great class. After that, go back. Be sure to start with lesson 1. Lesson 1 gives you that grounding. So we do have I got some people. So the way this works is over here, when you see me looking down off camera down here, that's because I'm watching your comments coming in here, the notes coming in. If I'm over here, I am on, this is just some notes to keep me on track. So this is a 3-hour session instead of a 9-hour session because I can talk about this stuff for a long time. So we have Brian from Hoboken, New Jersey, Nikki from the UK, Ricardo from Brazil, Karsten from Germany, Iraq from the UK, Catherine from Des Moines, Carmen from Bolivia, Lindsay from Washington State, Dave from New Jersey, Joe from Michigan, Rody from Mexico City, Jürgen from Germany. Jürgen's been with us, I think, on every single one of these broadcasts. Sage from Boulder, Jorge from Mexico. Jorge's been with us before. And I love having people just joining us from around the world. So let me here we go. So we now have over 53,000 people registered for this Launch Masterclass, which is absolutely ridiculous. We can basically fill a small or actually a pretty good sized football stadium. Ridiculous. So last time I reported we have people from 209 countries. 209 countries that have come into our Launch Masterclass. Now, that was after lesson 2, and I'm sad to admit that we have not expanded that number. So we're still stuck at 209 countries. So these 53,000 people represent 209 countries. Absolutely ridiculous, amazing. Our last live broadcast, we had 2,022 comments come in. Who has 2,022 comments come in on a live broadcast? Absolutely ridiculous. So this one's all about getting you launched. I'm going to be covering a critical part of your launch that I've never really taught in public before. Last year, I had just one little short video that talked about this a tiny bit, but I really haven't taught this in public before. And this is a really critical part of your launch. So in the past, we would do this as 3 lessons. This time we expanded it out to a 4th lesson, so I can now talk about this segment that is, well, of your launch, it's super, super important and super, super powerful. I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. But first of all, let's go for a quick review. So whether you're joining us now or you've been through us for all the lessons way back, those of you who have been with us, it feels like a lifetime ago. A couple Thursdays ago, a lifetime ago, we did the first lesson, and that was all about the sideways sales letter. And we covered the sideways sales letter, the problem solution path. Shout out to my buddy Lisa Sasovich, who helped me out with the name for that, and the mental triggers. So this is the core strategy. We're talking about launching. We're talking about launching your business. We're talking about launching your product, your service, your seminar, your workshop, your mastermind, your widget, your artwork, your book. We're talking about getting you launched because you can't depend on hope marketing. Hope marketing is where you just work really hard on your product and you just get this idea for something, you work really hard on it, and then you just put it out there and hope people find you. And hope, I've said this before, hope's a great word if you're shipwrecked at sea. Hope's a great word if you're lost out in the woods and the mountains. Then hope can keep you alive. But in business, hope is not a strategy. It's not a business strategy. And you shouldn't depend on hope. Now, if this is a sideways sales letter where you deliver content, great valuable content, 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 3 pieces. And if you haven't, you might want to go review lesson 1 after the broadcast. But 3 great pieces of pre-launch content that deliver real value. Just delivers great value. And then you ask for the sale. Instead of just, when you meet someone, it's like walk up in the street to someone and say, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. That's the way most marketers do it. The sideways sales letter is you deliver content. You deliver content. You deliver content. And then you ask for the sale. This is super, it's not only a friendly, value add, nice, authentic way to do it, but it's also incredibly effective, super, super effective. In fact, if you look around at pretty much every leader in the industry, they're doing this. In fact, if you look at the big names, most of them became the big names or the leaders, and I'm talking about any kind of market, they became that way because they did one of my launches. Because I've been teaching this since 2005. And all along the way, I keep on getting better at it, and updating with the new tools, everything that's available now. Back in 2005, you couldn't do video, you couldn't do live streams, you couldn't barely do audio. There's no social media. So we've kept on adding the tools and refining the strategy, but this is what I call the product launch formula. It's become my life's work. Since 2005, I've had almost 1 million people go through this free training with me. And my students and clients have done over $1 billion in sales. Over $1 billion in sales. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely amazing, ridiculous. But if you look in pretty much every industry, they're doing this from learning how to play guitar to brain trauma to playing tennis to having better relationships with your spouse. Pretty much any kind of market you can imagine. Marching band accessories, carving wooden dolls, Holstein cow embryos. It goes on and on and on. They're doing this. They're using this formula. And just before we get any deeper, a few disclaimers. When I say product launch formula, first of all, there is work involved here. I go through this, I teach it quickly, and I show you all the successes that people have had. I talk about the success I've had, the success my students have had, but there is work involved. There's no magic button. But you can't just put a magic button on your website or a magic button on your social profile and money will come just flying. Here we go, here's my computer, just money comes flying at me. You've probably seen, people actually put that on their sales pages, like an image of a guy sitting on his computer with money flying out of him. It doesn't happen, there's work involved. But if you're watching this, if you're still with me, I imagine that knowing that there is a proven process, a proven formula that will get you results if you put in the work. If you're watching this, I imagine that you are wise to the fact that there are no magic buttons. There's no, get rich quick button you can put on your website. You know that, right? You know there's work involved if you want to build something great, if you want to have that lifestyle, if you want to have that time freedom, if you want to have that freedom to work when and where you want, if you want to have that, be able to make that impact. There is work involved. So no get rich quick button. There's work involved. The flip side of that is that there's no theory here. This is all proven thousands of times by thousands of my students. And so that's caveat number one, is that there is work involved. Caveat number two is I'm teaching you the product launch formula. That's my overarching philosophy. It's what has become my life's work. I'm here on earth to be a great father, to be a great husband, to be a great friend and community member, and to help entrepreneurs get launched, because I think entrepreneurs are the future of all humanity. They're the ones moving us forward, and that's why I'm here, to get them launched. That's why we're here, to get you launched. So PLF is the overarching philosophy. Take that word out. It's not a philosophy. It's the boy, talk about screwing stuff up. There's nothing philosophical about this. It's the overarching formula. It's the overarching process that gets people launched, gets them positioned in their market, gets people coming to you wanting to buy from you, where you're not twisting their arm. They're coming to you asking to buy from you. So PLF, the overarching, that's the overarching formula. It's a formula. Now, the Product Launch Formula Coaching Program is my advanced training program. And I'm going to be launching, I'm going to be basically opening enrollment. I do one big public enrollment every year. I'm going to be opening that enrollment for PLF 2019 after this masterclass. In fact, actually, later in this live session, I'm going to be opening up registration. It's going to be super cool. I've got a special surprise for you. So I'll be talking about that a little bit later. So when I say PLF or Product Launch Formula, it's the overarching thing. And when I say Product Launch Formula Coaching Program, that's my high-end paid program. Is that clear? Okay. So this was lesson one. It's the Sideways Sales Letter. Review it. It's super, super powerful. Lesson two was the three primary types of launches. The seed launch, which is, that's the launch if you're just starting out, if you don't have a product to offer, if you don't have any type of a list or any type of a following, this is where you start. It's great. You get paid to create your product. You get paid before you actually create your product, which is an amazing thing. I mean, how much easier is it to create a product if you've already gotten dollars for it? It's fantastic. Also, if you have an existing business and you have that one product idea, and turn this idea over in your head for weeks or months or years, then you're just thinking about this, but you can't actually get it done. Well, do a seed launch, get paid for it, and then create it in an interactive way with the people that bought from you. So lesson two, seed launch, the internal launch, which is a classic Sideways Sales Letter launch. This, if you're already in business, you want to use this one. And if you're already in business, you already have an offer, you can relaunch that, super powerful. The JV launch, this is pouring gasoline on a fire. This is where, before my biggest internal launch I ever did way back before I started teaching PLF was $110,000, and we did that in 7 days. When I first did my absolute first JV launch, it was $600,000, and amazingly enough, $600,000 is now is the worst launch I've ever done as a JV launch. Now they're always in the millions to multi-millions. So that was lesson two, and the whole entire thing, there's a whole thing that's called launch stacking, or the circle of awesome, and that's the big red. You go watch lesson two to hear about how you stack from one launch to another, and they keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's basically how you end up creating a serious business out of this formula, a serious business. Now, I've just been doing launches. So I started out in 1996. I've been doing launches. End of 96, early 97 was my first launch. And I've done a lot of them since then. And that first one did $1,650. Still my most important launch I ever did, by far, because it showed that, it proved to myself that people would actually buy something from me. Back then, I didn't believe that. And this idea that people would buy from me. But since then, I've gotten better and better. And that was just the most barest bootstrap. I didn't have a website even. People had to write a check and send me a check. But it's grown from there into this 53,000 people watching me, into my secret headquarters, into I've got a big team helping me out. It's been crazy, but it's because of that circle of awesome. So go watch lesson 2. Lesson 3 was your launch blueprint. I covered a ton of stuff, an incredible amount of stuff. I can't even begin to review it for you right now. So go watch lesson 3. Boom. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to cut the people who are watching on Facebook Live in the Launch Masterclass Facebook page. You need to go over to our Masterclass pages right now because we're about to turn off the Facebook live stream. So if you're watching on Facebook, we want you to head over to the Masterclass pages because that's where everything is. That's awesome, including the rest of this broadcast. So head on over there right now. Okay. And this is what you'll see when you head on over there. Okay, so what I'm going to focus on here is this thing we call the open cart. Here I abbreviated it, the OC, the open cart. And so this, in lesson number 1, I taught you the sideways sales letter. That's your pre-launch period, okay? That's where you would release your 3 pieces of content, right? And again, it could be videos, it could be emails, it could be blog posts, podcasts, all kinds of different things. These days, it's usually videos. So we'd have lesson 1, 2, 3. So we have PLC. This is PLC, pre-launch content. Pre-launch content, video 1, video 2, video 3. Again, it doesn't have to be video, but it's just easier for me to say video 1, video 2, video 3, PLC 1, PLC 2, PLC 3. Then in lesson number 3, I talked about the pre-launch. That comes before the pre-launch sequence. This doesn't have to be anything special, but it's important. And this could be just a couple of emails. It could be as short as like 3 days up to, it could literally be 30 days. And it could be anywhere in between. It takes on many different flavors. This is where you get your existing tribe excited about your launch and actually get them activated to help you design your launch, to help you design your pre-launch content, help you design your offer, and possibly generate word of mouth buzz for your launch once you go live. You take those people that are in your inner circle and you turn them into champions for you. So that's the pre-pre. Then we have the pre-launch. Then, if you remember back to that sideways sales letter, I had 1, 2, 3, and then I had the sales video or the sales letter. But the reality is there's actually a sequence here. It's your open cart sequence. And so I sort of simplified that for you in lesson 1 because I knew we were coming up on this, but this is the open cart. So what I've done is I've blown this out. So I took, you know how they do that, like in the newspaper or whatever, the infographics. This is an infographic for you. And so, boom, we're going to zoom that out. And this is now your open cart period that is expanded. So a few of these, don't try to make any sense of this because these are literally just notes to me so I don't forget because I got a lot to cover in just a short period of time. So these are just notes for me. Won't make any sense. And just like, what was I thinking? Bad content emails. That's what you need to send. That's the key to your launch is bad content emails. No, it's not. That's just, bad content emails. So these are just cryptic little notes so I don't forget stuff. Okay, so your open cart is where you make the money. This is where you make the sales. This period here, right here, is all about dollars. It's all about bringing in money and bringing in sales. And so this is the reality. Is you have a business, you need to make the sale. That's what makes everything go round. You absolutely have to do that. It's like, here's a mini diagram. Mini diagram. Here's your opt-in page right here, okay? Lead magnet, people can put their email address in, right? And this is then your launch right here, okay? 1, 2, 3, sales letter. When you actually make dollars, when you take, so there's some people that approach this like with the hope marketing, or it's almost like a hobby. You're in the business, if you want to change your life, if you want to create the amazing lifestyle, have a great income, and make a huge impact. I know a lot of people just want to help people. All of that is dependent on this, because you're not running a charity. You're not running a nonprofit. And frankly, well, first of all, I know a lot of people are watching this, or some people have asked about this, does this work for a nonprofit? And it absolutely does. I've raised $2.5 million over the last few years doing this type of stuff. I have 2 different charities where I've raised $1 million each, so it even works for them. But let's talk about actually for most of us making a profit, because even if you're just in this to save people's lives, to really make an impact, if you're making dollars, then you can drive it into traffic. Then traffic goes into your squeeze page. Your squeeze page builds your list, builds your presence, builds your positioning. So if you have a question of whether how do you build your list? How do you build your presence? How do you build your business? How do you build your stature? It's by having a great launch that makes a lot of sales, because then it gives you all kinds of resources to drive traffic. The traffic is out there if you have the money to put into getting the traffic. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just let me know. Put in the comments, yes, Jeff, I finally get it. Because a lot of people are like, how do you magically, you put up an opt-in page and you try to build your email list, you try to build your positioning, you try to build your followers, whatever. How do you just magically put some updates out there? It's great to start that way. And I think you always want to be creating great content for word of mouth. And when you do a launch, you do get word of mouth. But at the end of the day, when you're making sales in your open cart, then there's almost unlimited amount of traffic. Make sense? Okay. So here's your open cart sequence. And it is all about making the sale at this point. So first of all, the one thing I want you have to remember is right here is the end. It's the end of your launch. And remember way back in lesson 1 where I talked about anticipation and how you need to turn your marketing into an event. And when you turn your marketing, that means there has to be a start, and an end. And at the end of your launch, something bad has to, this is the most technical term I'm going to use here today, I think, is when at the end of your launch, if someone doesn't buy from you, something bad has to happen. There has to be a negative consequence for them not acting. Because at the end, you're going to say, we're closing down our launch, so this special launch offer goes away. You have to do this. It will literally double your sales if you do this. Another way to look at that is you will make half your sales if you don't do this. Say your launch would do 100 sales. If you don't have a hard deadline, then you're not going to make 100 sales. You're going to make 50 sales. Which would you rather make, 100 sales or 50 sales? Please type it in the comments. Which would you rather make, 100 sales or 50 sales? The difference is you have a hard deadline. You need to have a hard deadline at the end of your launch. So something bad there has to be negative consequences for not acting. When I was raising my kids, you love your kids, you want the best for them, but there are certain times where you have to say, this has to happen or this cannot happen anymore. And if it does, there's going to be some negative consequences. That's part of parenting. And then you have to follow through on those negative consequences, even if it sort of breaks your heart. It's the same way for your people. You have to be the best parent possible. And you have to take them to the point of making that decision. So the bad things that happen, there's 3 ways. 1 is bonuses go away. So the offer gets less attractive, less good. There's less stuff in your offer. That's number 1. Bonuses go away. Number 2, price goes up. You raise the price. We've seen this before. It's the end of a sale, right? And the third one is the offer goes away. Now, that doesn't work all the time for everyone, but it can be very, very powerful. In fact, it's the most effective form of scarcity is you can no longer get this thing. And so those are the 3 ways to create scarcity. That's what we're talking about, is scarcity. We talked about that 10 days ago in lesson number 1. It might have been 11 days, I don't remember. But back in lesson 1, we talked about scarcity. That's what we're talking, something bad has to happen. Okay, so this is your open cart. And what I suggest you do for open cart is 5 to 7 days. 5 to 7 days. So I have split this into 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's my favorite number. 7's okay. Don't go longer than 7. Don't go longer than 7, because if you do, it will end. Well, you need to be sending, you have to have a plan to reach out and touch your people, to email them every single day during your cart. And if you go beyond 7 days, then people will just, you'll run out of things to do. You'll run out of things to talk about, and you'll just end up sending another email that says, please buy my stuff. I know I just asked you for the last 4 days to buy my stuff, but please, please, please buy my stuff. And it'll just go on. I know someone that did, instead of 5 days, they did like 21 days. Okay? And the way your sales work, and actually, I've got a different green marker. It's a little bit, I'm going to jump away for 1 second just to get my spare green marker. See how prepared I was? I've got my spare green marker. Okay, so the way the dollars work in your launch is you will have, on your day 1, you'll make a bunch of sales. You'll start off strong, and then it'll taper during your launch. And then with about 36 hours to go, it'll start to pick up, and it'll pick up, and it'll pick up, and it'll pick up right into the close. It'll peak like that, okay? And so most of your sales are going to come in the last day. And it's interesting, just an aside, it didn't used to be this way. It used to be more like this. It would be up here, and then it would go like this, and then it would go like this, and then it would go like that. So there's a lot more front-end loaded. That's the way it used to be. And we were in a different market. So when I say used to be, that was like 1999, 1998, 1997. Everything just happens in a different fashion now. We've got social, there's so many reasons, the news cycle, social media, whatever. But now, the way it works is you get some initial sales, and then people pile in right here at the end, right here in the last 36 hours. Now, when you do it, that's 5 days. But sometimes people are like, I don't want to do 5 days. I don't want to do 7 days. I want to make money for a really long time. I want to make sales for a really long time, so I'm going to do 21 days. So what happens when you do 21 days is it goes like this. You get some sales on the first day, and then it goes down here, and then it's like nothing happens, and then it spikes up in the last 36 hours. So when you get 21 days, you still get all the action here and here. You get no action in between, and in between here you're saying, please buy my stuff, 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 please buy. It gets a little old. So don't do 21 days, don't do 14 days, don't do 10 days, do 5 to 7 days. Okay. Another thing we do in terms of this green curve, the green money curve, there's this thing, this is going to sound like I got a big ego, but I didn't actually come up with this name, Mike Filsam did. It's called the Walker W. And one of the things we do is we try to find a way to spike the sales in the middle. So we might add some bonuses, we might do a special live cast or something like that. It's a nice theory. So basically it's a W. Boom, 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 boom. So you get a spike at the beginning, a spike at the end, a spike in the middle. That's a Walker W. I love that term because it's got my name in it. But the reality is I don't worry about it too much. I just focus on having a strong open, really communicating with my list in a great way, and then setting up for a strong close. Make sense? Does it make sense? Let me know if you're going to do a 7-day, or let me know if you're going to do a 5-day, a 7-day, or a 21-day open in your launch. Okay, so let's see. I'm just knocking this stuff out. That's the bad. I haven't talked about emails. I've talked about dollars. One of the things I want you to remember is the good old, I made this drawing way back in, I think, lesson, I don't know, one of those lessons. The product launch parachute. This guy's very happy because of the product launch parachute. I mentioned you could screw a lot of this stuff up, and you've got time to recover. So when you get a 5 to 7 day open, it's not like, boom, that Super Bowl commercial I talked about in lesson 3 where you've got a couple minutes and you got to make all your sales in a couple minutes, or you've got a whole 5 to 7 days to recover if you mess things up. You mess things up like bad content, or you mess things up like in lesson 2 where I had the wrong title slide or title, whatever, this isn't a slide, but title piece of paper, title flip chart. You have time to recover. You absolutely have time to recover during your open cart. So what you want to be doing is you want to be communicating with your list, with your, what we call our launch list, every single day throughout here. So you need content every single day, some reason to mail something. And so what you're going to do is, this is your opening day, right? So this is your open. So you email here and it's basically, hey, we're open. You don't need any special content. You've been hearing about this stuff for 10 days already. And now guess what? You get to join me. You get to join me. This is where you open up your cart and you actually start making sales, making dollars. So on your first day, the message is just about the open. Generally, I like to send 2 emails. The first one is, we're open, and the second one is, oh my gosh, the sales are coming in, it's absolutely crazy, it's amazing. So it's sort of a celebratory email. I like to call it my tsunami email, like I'm getting carried away by this tsunami. Okay, so that's your open. Then you have 3, if it's a 5-day cart, then you have 3 days of content. 3 days of something to deliver in here. And so you're going to send 1 email per day. Actually, you're probably going to send 2 emails there on the second to last day, your pre-close day. Okay, and then here's your close. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. So for content, you can do things like you can release some case studies here. Lots of questions about, I don't have any case studies, I'm just starting out. I answered that in the Facebook group. The reality is you can do this without case studies. I've seen many, many launches be very, very successful with case studies. I share case studies with you because I absolutely love, love, love sharing my people. And I've got more case studies than I can count. And I love sharing their results. They're amazing people. Were they incredible? Like Tembi and Una and Jeff Noble, oh my gosh, and Eric, and on and on and on. They're just amazing. I love sharing them. They're just such quality human beings. And so you can mail case studies. For any of these, you could do mail case studies. You can do what we call an all access page. I've been doing it the last few years. And that's where you take all of your pre-launch content. You might put it on 1 page so someone can go and just look at everything, binge watch all your pre-launch content. You could do, like if you're selling a membership site, like this type of launch is perfect for membership sites. It's like in fact, that's what I first launched. When I launched was like a continuity program. It's absolutely perfect for that. And so if you have a membership site, one of the things you can do is just give a virtual tour of the membership site. You can just do a screen capture video. There's a lot of different tools, all kinds of different tools you can use for that. It's built in now into Macs, and I've probably built into Windows, and it's just, Camtasia and ScreenFlow and Screencast-O-Matic and on and on. There's all kinds. Just record where you actually go and log in and show all the cool things in your membership site. That's a great piece of content to share. Because remember, the stuff you're doing here is trying to drive people to the dollars, trying to drive them to the sale. Okay, you could do a frequently asked questions. I've done this as a long email. Just here's some of the top questions we're getting. Generally, those questions are about moving forward. They're about what's holding people back from buying from you. You can do, I've done a fireside chat where we just I literally had a fire, like a fireplace, and I set my chair next to it, we turned on the camera, and I just had a very conversational video where I talked about some of the biggest questions and some of the biggest stumbling blocks. So you could do a fireside chat. You could just do a pure content. If there's some piece of content that you didn't cover up in your sideways sales letter, you can do a short, you don't want to do, say you've been doing like videos up here, and they've been 20 minutes long, or even 12 minutes long. This video, if you did a video in here, maybe on this day, day 3 of CART, it would be like maybe a third the length of these videos. It'd be super punchy, and it hopefully would be something that would lead people to making the decision. Lead people in making the decision to buy from you. So it's not just some flurry, some random content. I just thought I'd better shoot a content video, so I'm going to get random content. It's content that drives people to the sale. You could also do a webinar in here or a live broadcast. And another thing you could do, especially in here, is a bonus stack. That's where you actually add new bonuses. So someone's been thinking about it. 40 to 50% of your sales are going to come on this last day. 50 or 60% of the last 36 hours. So someone's thinking, add a new bonus. Now that doesn't mean everyone who bought here didn't get a bonus. You never want to penalize people for acting quickly. So everyone in here that bought got a bonus, but now you've added a new bonus just to push people over the edge. So those are some of the types of content that you can deliver. I just popped to my notes, and there's one other thing I forgot to mention. This is a bit of a technical thing. So when you open CART, you're going to start, all these emails are going to be driving people to the sales video or sales letter or sales message, however you deliver it. But you still, what a lot of people used to make this mistake. I don't see it so often anymore, but they used to take these pages that has your pre-launch content, and they would set up they do some server magic, some technical magic, so if someone went to click through on a link to one of these, they'd get redirected to the sales video or sales letter. Don't do that. You want to leave your pre-launch content up. Your pre-launch content was built to sell. It's built to help people sell. I mean, it's built to pre-sell, to get people in the mood, to get them ready to buy from you. And there might be, you might have sent an email right at the beginning of this sequence. Say you sent an email, and now someone's opening this email a week later. And this email said, hey, I've got this really cool video, and it's going to teach you how to buy the right guitar, or how to teach your kids how to kick a soccer ball, or whatever. It's promised the content here. And if they click through and they go there, then you want them to get that video. You don't want them to magically end up on a sales message. So I'm going a little deep here, and I hope that's okay. But basically, you just want to leave all this content up so people can continue to watch that throughout your CART week. Okay, so that was a little bit of an aside. So getting back to emails. 2 emails on opening day, 1 email, 2 emails the day before. The first email is going to be, we're closing tomorrow. There's, you got like a little more than 24 hours. Second email will be some type of this content over here. On closing day, promise me you're going to send at least 2 emails. I would prefer if you promise me that you're going to send 3 emails. Early morning, late in the evening, and something in between. Something in between. If you actually go back and watch Kara's case study, which I think was in lesson 2, Kara's case study, we talked at length, for several minutes about the emails she sent right here. It was super, super powerful. It's amazing how this graph, it keeps on getting steeper, and sales keep on going in faster and faster right up until the last hour and in the last 15 minutes. So let me just double check, make sure I said everything I need to say about that. That's the open CART. Ta-da, what do you think? Was it awesome? I've never really taught this like this in my free training. It's always been held back for my Product Launch Formula Coaching Program, which I'm going to be telling you about in just a few minutes. So there you go. That is the open CART, and I'm going to pop on over, let you absorb that for a second. I'm going to get a drink of water. So if we go back, this is all about selling. And there are some things, some words in the English language that are so incredibly loaded. They have so much baggage and so much energy. Money is one of them. Sex is one of them. There's just words that just have so much, they have so much energy about them. Selling, people get all worked up about selling. And I mean, most people, I think when I say most, I mean the majority of people, I think, are not super comfortable with selling. And if you are, awesome to be you. It's amazing. I was not. I used to just think I don't know anything about sales. I mean, if you asked me to list every profession that I thought I could be good at, somewhere, if I just started writing them down, I probably got around the number 1,000, I might say sales. Because I'm not a natural, never been a pitch man. I can watch those guys on infomercials and they're amazing. I don't know how they do it, but it's never been who I am. So I had that baggage about selling. In fact, if you really go back, how did I invent Product Launch Formula? It was because I was scared to ask for the sale right from the very beginning in 1996. So I delivered value until they just absolutely loved me and they were begging me to buy. And I was like, well, that worked. I sort of got over feeling bad about selling because I gave so much value. And then I just turned that into a formula, and here I am teaching that formula. It's sort of crazy. I have gotten better at selling because I now know, first of all, during your pre-launch, you've done all the heavy lifting. You've got people ready to buy from you. You have them ready to buy from you because you've delivered content. You've educated them on why this is such an amazing thing. So you've already done the heavy lifting. It's not like you have to be able to sell sand in the desert. You don't have to be an amazing salesperson. You just have to communicate what you've got and how it's going to help, what the transformation is going to be. So that's the first key lesson is it's about the transformation. So when I think about offering Product Launch Formula and making an offer for the coaching program, I just focus on the transformation, what your transformation is going to be. What is that? It's that freedom. It's those 5 levels of freedom we talked about right from the start. The freedom of time to work first of all, the freedom of money to be able to pay your bills. That's when I started. I just wanted to be able to help try to support the family because it was desperate times. Every month paying those bills was desperate. And so I wanted to help the family have some type of financial security, and then eventually financial freedom. And then came time, and I wanted just the ability to go and do fun stuff and not have to work all the time, and be able to work when I wanted, and to have leverage so that I didn't have to make more money and make more sales. I didn't have to work more and more and more, that I could sort of separate the amount of effort from the amount of money. So that was huge. So it was all about the money first, and then came the time, and then became the place, and I got to move out into the mountains in Colorado because I could live anywhere. And then who you work with. Look at these case studies I've done. The people I work with are amazing. The people on my team are amazing. You've seen that in the comments in the Facebook group. They're amazing. I'm surrounded by great people all day long, every day. It's fantastic. And then, of course, the freedom of impact. And you see that over and over and over in these case studies, how people just talk about what lights them up. Is being able to, Jeff Noble, being able to help parents of children with that fetal alcohol syndrome. And Kara, helping people really create freedom by creating cake decorating businesses. And Una, having helped people live in their best bodies. And on and on and on. Tembi being able to help people, women in Africa. So whenever I think about selling, this thing that I used to have discomfort about, I think about just that transformation. And you want to focus on the transformation when you're making the sale. So we're talking about that sales message you're putting out. This is all about getting that sales message right. It's not about being slick. It's not about being fancy. You can see I'm not slick. I'm not fancy. I drop markers. I write the wrong things. When I spell results, I forget to put the L in there, so I have to go back and fit the L in there. Nothing slick, nothing fancy, but it's super, super effective. And you're going to get the same experience. Just follow the formula. So everything you want is on the other side of making the sale. So you've done that sideways sales letter. You've delivered huge value out into the world, right? People are loving it. Now you have to take them down to that precipice, that point of making the decision to buy from you. That's absolutely critical. Everything you want's on the other side. What you're selling, if you've put your product together properly, if you've done the seed launch, you've got a great product. If you do that seed launch, you create a great first product, and then you make it better and better and better. That's what I've done. I've been doing it since 2005 with Product Launch Formula. Keep on making it better. So I am selling free results. I am selling free money. Free money, free impact, free lifestyle. You're doing the same. Whatever you're selling, you're creating some kind of transformation for people. You're taking away pain. You're delivering pleasure. You're helping them with their hobby, their sport, their relationship, their money, their health. You got to think about the ROI from people that buy from you. The people that buy from you just get great results. There's nothing better to spend money on. It's fantastic to be able to spend money and get results, right? We're my secret headquarters. We just had a huge landscaping job go in. And I was able to spend money and get this amazing landscaping. Was that good for me? It was fantastic for me. And you're going to do the same. So just remember, you're delivering free results. I'm giving free results to people who get Product Launch Formula. Some people are squeamish. When they go to make the sale, that's what I've been talking about the last few minutes, they feel icky about making the sale. You're giving them results. You're giving them results. You do not want to sell from your heels, meaning you don't want to just be, oh, please buy my stuff. I'd really, really feel, I'd like it. Would you buy my stuff, please? Please buy my stuff. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be leaning back, metaphorically. You want to be leaning in. And actually, your body language. There's that great TED Talk about body language where if you do the Superman pose for 30 seconds or a minute or two, then it changes your brain and you become more confident, more powerful, and project more. And so do the Superman pose before you go to record a sales video. Before you have any kind of sales message, do that. It's proven. It's scientifically proven that when people were interviewing for a job, that they did the Superman pose, they performed better. It's scientifically proven. It's crazy. It's true. So you want to both literally do the Superman pose, but also metaphorically, because this is the deal. This is probably the most important part right here, is that if you're watching this right now, if you've stuck with me all along, if you've even been, just this is your first broadcast, you've been with me now for 52 minutes, your sacred job, it is your sacred duty to sell effectively. If you have something that's going to help people, that's going to change their lives, that's going to help them put together a meditation practice, be a better spouse, be a better parent, heal brain trauma, hit a tennis ball more accurately, hit a golf ball further, train your dog, on and on and on, whatever. Do macrame better, do yoga better, have a better yoga practice, find the love of their lives, have a more centered meditation practice, whatever. If you can get those results, it's your sacred duty to do your absolute best job of taking people to that precipice of making a decision and then pushing them over the edge, getting them there so that they can change their lives. One of my, at PLF Live once, my live event, I was doing some coaching at that event, and someone raised their hand. It turned out they had a great product on quitting smoking, but they were having a hard time with selling this whole piece, the selling, having a really difficult time. And I was like, okay, let's do a little exercise. And I said, okay, if you take someone into your program, what's your success rate? And I don't remember what it was, but you had a very high success rate of getting people to quit smoking. And it's like, okay, so what are the results that they're, like, if someone quits smoking, what does that mean for them? And she's like, had all these statistics. It's like, They live better, their health becomes better, they live longer, and all these different things. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. So what does that do for that person's, let's say they're a parent. What does that, well, actually, forget about that. Makes their health better, live longer. I'm like, okay, let's step that forward. You just help them quit smoking. What is your life like 5 years from now? And she could just articulate all the changes which would have gone on and how their health had changed and who they had become. I'm like, okay, what about that person's circle of influence? What about that person's kids and parents and friends? How's their life changed? She's like, well, they're going to be less likely to smoke, especially the kids. They're going to be healthier because they're not going to have secondhand smoke. They're yada, 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 on and on and on. I'm like, okay, let's walk forward 5 years. What's that like for that person? What's that like for that person's circle of influence? Okay, let's walk forward 20 years to that grandchild of that person, their grandson, their granddaughter. What's it like to actually have that grandparent still in their lives and still healthy? And we just kept on walking forward, looking at, you're not just selling a quit smoking program. You're selling something that's going to change hundreds of people's lives for decades. For decades. It's your sacred duty. That's what I said to her. It's your sacred duty to be really strong with your selling. You have to do it. Does this make sense to you? Does this make sense that it isn't just you just selling some product, some service? So if you've got something that's going to change people's lives, and I want you to have something that change people's lives, and if you don't yet, you're going to when you do your seed launch, then it's your sacred duty. It's like that piece by Marianne Williamson. That's like, who are you to play small? Who are you to play small? You got to play a big game. I know this is probably turning a lot of people off when I use that word sacred, but it's important. I mean, I'm here. This is a mission for me. You might have gotten that. We're 11 hours in. 11 hours into this masterclass. It's a mission for me to change your life. It's my sacred duty. It's my sacred duty. It's all of this content it's my sacred duty. And it's going, in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you about progress for my coaching program. At that point, it will be my sacred duty to gently take you up to the point of making a decision. Okay, you're pacing. When you are actually delivering your sales message, especially if you're doing it in a video, you have to be careful not to speak too fast. Because people don't trust you if you start going, you get nervous here at a time, you sound really nervous. People get discounted, they get uncomfortable when you start. It's natural for us to get a little uncomfortable, but you have to maintain your pace. And you don't want to slow down over intentionally because it looks really awkward and weird. So you want to just have your normal pace. You don't really want your pace to change when you get into your sales message. It should be the same as it was in your pre-launch content. I like to say, and I think I invented this phrase, I've picked up a lot of great phrases. I've stood on the shoulders of giants, but I think I might have invented this one. I think of sales as enthusiasm transferred. You're just you're enthusiastic and you're transferring your enthusiasm to the person who's watching. Am I excited about launches? Does it come through? I mean, am I excited about launches? Leave me a comment, do you think I'm excited about launches? Do you think I'm excited about my case studies, about all those people I've helped? And am I excited about the people I'm going to help you, my dear viewer? Am I excited about helping you? Does it come through? I hope so, because I am. I just want to move you forward. And if I want to move you forward, I have to take my enthusiasm and my vision for what's possible for you in your future, that huge vision I have for you in your future, I have to transfer that enthusiasm to you. Now, a lot of people are like, Jeff, I'm an introvert. I'm not good on camera. I'm an introvert. I mentioned this earlier. If we had a cocktail party here, I'd be like buried in the corner over there, probably with a guitar, playing a guitar for myself. Because I am not the go out and meet people kind of person. I'm not so good at a cocktail party. It's just not me. I'm an introvert. That's number one. Number two, I was really lousy on camera. How I got better? I started doing video. And I did video, and I did video, and I did video, and I did video. I can't remember which case study it was. Boy, we've done so many of them. Said, yeah, I was really bad on camera. I was really bad on camera, but I just started doing it. It was Eric Solbakken, the accountant. And he said, yep, my first video was awful. My second, not so much, but you just get better. So if you think, wow, Jeff looks like a natural there, I'm not a natural. I've done over the last, I've been doing a weekly video that I release for the last 5.5 years. Plus I've done some sprints where I've done a whole bunch in a row. So there's 300 videos right there. And that's just scratches the surface. I've done hundreds of videos, probably over 1,000 videos. You get better. And you know what? My first one was horrible. My second one was a lot better than my first one. And then the better and better and better. And then you sort of even out. But no one is an automatic natural. But you can still transfer your enthusiasm. Okay, drilling down. Revelation of price is an important thing. When you tell people what the price is, first you have to communicate all the value, and then you tell them what the price is. You don't want to, you just want to, it's the same thing. This is what it costs. I've got this, here is your life. Your life is going to change. You're going to get free results. Here's what it costs. And you can't like whisper it. You don't, hopefully your voice doesn't break when you're saying it. You don't want to just say, and the price is, and then just point to a number. I've seen that mistake before. This is what it costs. You want to do a risk reversal, so you want to take away the risk. I'm big on this one. You know, I've always offered a full guarantee. If it's not right for someone else, I can't get their money out of my pocket and back from my pocket back into their pocket fast enough. So you want to reverse the risk. You want to take the risk. You want to offer a guarantee. You want to bend over backwards with this. And you want to focus on their results, their transformation. Okay? Transformation. So one of the things that is important is, especially if you're going to do a sales video, but even if you're just going to write some sales copy, you have to create from a heightened state. And when I say state, I'm not talking about brainwashing. I'm just saying sometimes we're feeling great and sometimes we're not feeling great, right? Sometimes we're just have bad days. Sometimes we have great days. Sometimes in between. When you go to shoot, you have to put yourself in a great mental state. And hint, behind the scenes, people on Instagram following have seen some of this. Before these live broadcasts, I go through a meditation, I'm listening to binaural beats, I'm doing different poses that get me all just like in the state where I can stand in front of a camera for hours and give you massive enthusiasm. So you have to put yourself in that type of state. Now there's many different ways to do it, many different ways. One of the way I do it is I focus on the results that I get for people. I focus on the free results, the free money I'm giving to people, the free lifestyle I'm giving, the free impact I'm giving. And when I say free money, it's like people pay me X, but they make way more than that, a return on investment, that's free money. But I focus on the results I've gotten for people. And that puts me in this place of the sacredness of what I'm about to do, what I'm doing, right? And so I just have a very short video. It's just a few minutes. I think it's 2 minutes long. And maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It's really cool. It's a cool video. I want to share this with you because we put this video together almost a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And I played it at my live event. I used it as my take the stage video. So we played it and then I took the stage and I could hit the stage with mass enthusiasm. And since then, because you're going to see in a minute why, but it puts me in this amazing, amazing selling state. Now, part of it is it shows some of the success that people have had. And I know you might not have those success stories yet, but you will. You will. If you follow this formula, if you follow that sideways sales letter, if you follow what I've been teaching, you're going to have those results. So don't let that hold you back. I'm just going to show you this video because I can't tell you how many times I've watched this since that live event. We put it together for live event, played it once, But since then, I've watched it dozens and dozens and dozens of times. So can we go ahead and play that right now? So let me tell you a story. On September 25th, I left my home, my business, to go on a 3-week wilderness trip at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. I went with my son Daniel, my brother John, and 10 other really great friends. And for 3 weeks, our entire existence was defined by the sun, the moon, the stars, the river, the rock walls. It was just an absolutely unbelievable epic experience. Each day we got up to face new challenges, to float through some of the biggest rapids in the world, to explore amazing side canyons, to hike to waterfalls, to experience slot canyons so narrow you almost had to turn sideways to fit through them. Each day brought new adventures and new camaraderie and new companionship, and we sunk deeper and deeper into the wilderness. It was absolutely amazing, a true highlight of my life. And then I got off the river, and it was time to come home. It was time for re-entry into the normal world, re-entry into the ordinary world. And I had 2 messages from my team. The first one was that we're still in business. The second one was, you have to check this out.
Hi, I'm Marta, and I'd like some help to tell my story.
Today was a PA day for the kids, and normally about a year ago that would have meant total panic on our part because we wouldn't have had childcare. But this year, my lovely husband and I both work for my online business, so no childcare panic. And in fact, we had like this awesome leisurely morning with the kids, and I went and did my workout, and then we got in the car for the cottage. And
if I look at my life today, it's completely transformed. I'm now a full-time online entrepreneur. I have done a 6-figure launch twice.
I commute 17 steps from my bedroom to my lazy boy in my fuzzy slippers.
I watched video after video after video. I binge watched my launch club, sharing their wins, sharing their launch life.
You know, it comes from this collaboration. It comes from hearing the perspectives of other people. One of my favorite pieces of advice is that to get to where you want to go, surround yourself with 5 other people who have already been there and already doing it.
Because if not you, who? If not now, when?
We're tiptoeing towards $500,000, but that's not even the best part. The best part is my dream is coming true. I get to be a fairy art mother who helps people develop art skills.
I went to my dad to ask him about that. Papa, do you remember what you told me after I decided to quit my job and start with this online business thing?
I remember it very well, because I said I think I got my daughter back.
This is my launch life. This is our launch life. What's yours? So you can probably see why I like to watch that video. It combines 2 of my most favorite things in the world, and one is to get out in the natural world on wilderness trips, and especially wilderness river trips like that, and then also to make this absolutely unbelievable impact in the world. And way back in lesson 1, I talked about this, I just mentioned something in passing called levels of the game, the levels of the game. And there's always multiple levels of the game. And I'm referring to this entire business as a game. And I have an enormous amount of fun, so it is a game for me. But it's also something I'm deadly serious about, because it is my sacred duty to help people out. So when I think of levels of the game, started off for me $1,650. Next launch, $6,000. Next launch, $8,000. And it gradually got better. And I got more sophisticated. When I started out, I had 0 case studies. I had 0 testimonials. I had 0 list. I had 0 product. And I just grew from there. And then I gradually got got more sophisticated. And then about 10 years in, I got my first team member. And then we started doing live events. And the first live event at 100 people, and then 400 people, and then 800 people, and then 1,200 people. And it got fancier and fancier. And then we started doing videos, and then we started doing live. And now we built out basically a live TV studio, basically. And I've got this team of 25 people all over the place. And it's been amazing. I think about John Gallagher. I mentioned him, I think, in lesson 3, and or 2, 3, I don't know, he was in food stamps, right? His family's on food stamps, 2 young children. He was working at a nonprofit. He was studying to be an acupuncturist. He had some knowledge about herbs, about going in your backyard and picking herbs and using them as food and medicine. And he had a board game. And he had borrowed money to create that board game from his dad. And he tried launching, and he sold 12 copies. And when you make a board game up, you have to get pallets and pallets of board games made up. You get them made up overseas, and they ship it to you. And he had cartons and cartons. He had cartons everywhere in his house, including he put them in his shower stall because he had no place to put all these huge boxes of games, and they sold 12 of them. Absolute heartbreaking. So then he Googled, and he found product launch formula. My very, very first version back then. This is like 2006. And he borrowed more money from his dad and got product launch formula. And then he did a launch, and he sold, I think it was 670 games instead of 12 with the same little list. Ridiculous. So that was his first level of that game. That launch did somewhere around $30,000, 20 or 30,000, I can't remember, $20 or $30,000, enough to pay for the games the money he borrowed for those games. And then he just started doing regular launches. And then he put a herbal kit together. And then he put a membership site together. And here we are, a decade later. He's got a multi-million-dollar business. He's not the expert. He helps bring experts to the world. There's plenty of experts in edible and medicinal plants and herbs. He brings those people to the world. And he's got this business with this team. That's levels of the game. It doesn't happen overnight. But this is the formula to get you there, whether you're just starting out or whether you have a nice business that you want to take to the next level, that you want to accelerate. Or you might be a practitioner, a one-on-one practitioner, and a one-on-one practitioner who works with clients. Maybe you've got a body of work. You help people. You like helping people, but for every dollar you bring in, you have to work so many hours with those people, whether you're helping them with their health or their money or their relationships or some sport or hobby. Your income is limited. That one-on-one is so limited. It's gratifying, but it's limited, and it's a grind. And you're looking for leverage. That's what this is about. Or you're an author, or you're an artist, and you want to get your work out there in a big way. Or you just love this whole launch process, and you just want to help other people do it as a consultant, as a coach. Any one of those, it's just levels of the game. You're probably not going to do $1 million launch your first time if you're just starting out. And you probably never will. But you can do some really, really great launches and build up, and who knows, maybe you can do that $1 million launch. I have many people that have. So that's what this is. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, is for you, is to get you launched. So the way this works is this masterclass. First time we've done it this fashion live. I've always done it with videos before. But if you add it up, I've had almost 1 million people go through this. So 1 million's a pretty big number, right? So 1 million people. In that time, I've had somewhere around 20,000 people step up into the Product Launch Formula coaching program. The results these people have had are way beyond the results these people have had. Because we can go deeper. What I've taught you so far just scratches the surface. We can go so much deeper in the coaching program. I can give you so much support, so much more support. My team can give you so much more support. My coaches can give you so much more support. The community and all our huge, vast community of product launch formula owners can give you more support. So if you are in a situation where you just want to, you're just ready to go rock it, you're just going to go rock it, you got your plan, you know what you're doing, you want to take this free content, the free masterclass, and run with it, more power to you, and I can't wait to hear your success story. It'll be fantastic. But if you really want to say, now is my time to go forward, then an investment to put you in this group, I mean, $1 billion in results. And of that $1 billion of results that my students and clients have had, 99% came from this group. Not from the 1% came from this group. Is it possible to do a launch? I wouldn't have done 10, 11 hours of this if I didn't think it was possible for you to do it just with my free content. But if you're really ready to step up, you want to join your product launch formula owners. You want to join my coaching program, or you at least want to look at it very, very carefully. So I just want to tell you a little bit about the entire program and how it works. So I've got some notes here because there is so much involved. You get so much. You get so much support. You get so much accountability. You get so much community. It's absolutely amazing. This is my life's work. I've been redefining this program and remaking this program since 2005. PLF 2019, right now, that's what we're about to open up in a few minutes. And 2019, completely rebuilt, completely new portal. The course is probably 80% reshot. The last 2 months, I've been reshooting that video. My team's been recreating all the pieces that go with the training. So that's what we're talking about, is PLF 2019. The last time I did this, the last time I opened it up was last September, a year ago, PLF 2018. This version is a huge upgrade. It's way better. It's way better. So the way this works, it's sort of like a college class. We'll do an enrollment here, we'll bring in a new class, and then we'll work forward in that class. There are 9 modules, and we release 1 module per week. And then we'll go, basically release a module on Monday, and then we'll do a coaching call that week related to that module. The coaching calls are run by my coaches. It's not like we outsource any of this. My in-house full-time coaches, my coaches have been with me for, I think the newest coach I've got is about 3 or 4 years has been with me. And one of my coaches has been with me since 2007. So I've got this amazing, if you have gotten any support from my team in the comments, in the Facebook group, when you send an email in, you understand I've got an amazing team. I've got amazing coaches. So we release a module on Monday, then we'll do a coaching call that week. We'll get your questions answered, get you coached. That happens every week throughout for sort of this 9-week session, and then we'll continue doing calls for the full 12 months. So you basically get 12 months of coaching. So this isn't just, we give you a few videos. Each module is released, and we take you through, in those modules, we take you through all the launches. We take you through the seed launch, the JV launch, the internal launch, the quick launches, book launches, on and on. We take you through how to script out what exactly to put in each one of your videos, what to put in your emails. We give you checklists. We give you scripts. And I'm a big, big fan of learning by example and teaching by example. So what I've done is I've taken videos, actual real live videos from my students, and all this is with permission, where we go to, you might have gotten that. I've got a few raving fans by watching the case studies. They've given me their videos, and I'll actually go through the video and I'll give a worked well, do differently. It's like, did you see what they did? That was amazing. Oh, did you see this? They probably could have done this a little bit better. And I'll also do that with their scripts. So they'll typically have a script that they follow for their launch video. We didn't even talk about scripts. So we're going to show you how to build out your scripts and how to deliver your scripts. And I'm going to show you the ones that did well. And I'm going to show you how they could have done better and what specifically did well and where they used what trigger. Remember those triggers from lesson 1? You wonder exactly where they go? That's all in the course. It's all in the course. So, do you have to watch all 9 modules to do a launch? No, you don't. In fact, frankly, a lot of people don't, and they still have amazing results. Absolutely amazing results. Oh, the Evergreen launch, that's another one. I think that might be the module 8. So it's pretty deep in the program because the Evergreen launch is super, super important, but it's super complicated. It's hard. It's an advanced strategy. You probably don't do it as your first launch. It's doable, and I'm going to show you how to do it, but we put it later in the program. I've had, if I've impressed you at all with my teaching capabilities within this masterclass, it's because I've been doing this for so long. I've had so many people go through it. I know the pitfalls. I know what holds you back. And the Product Launch Formula Coaching Program is designed so that nothing holds you back because I want you launched. I absolutely want you launched. You get transcripts. Personally, people are different types of learners, and people absorb information differently. So personally, I'm not a huge fan of watching videos. I do a lot of videos. I'm on video all the time. I teach you how to do videos. I know how to do videos. I can do good videos. We do amazing videos, but I don't love watching videos. So we give you transcripts of all the videos, so you can read them if you prefer to read them. If you want to listen to them when you're driving or you're out for a walk, we give you all the audios. So it's all about taking every roadblock that you might possibly have to getting launched and fixing it. Because I want you launched. I want you to do that seed launch. I want you to build out your product. I want you to get your list. That's what the launch is about, is getting you the list. It's getting you the positioning in the market, getting you that launch echo, if you remember when I taught about that in lesson 1 and lesson 2. That idea where all of a sudden people start to see you as the expert, see you as the leader. And then they come and they want to interview you. They want you to speak on their stage. They want to put you on their podcast. They want to contribute to your product. They want to promote for you. That's that launch echo and that positioning. That's what that internal launch gets you. That's what the JV launch, in fact, that's what the seed launch gets you. That's what being launched, you being launched, you getting launched, that's what it gets you. That's what I've got for you. That's what I've built for you. I'm so excited. My team is like trembling because they've worked so hard on this new PLF 2019 portal. They've just killed it. They've taken, we built out our content team this year so we can do so much more. We've got someone that's an instructional design expert. We've actually invested in instructional design, so it's just amazing. And I don't expect you to care about instructional design, but know that we just didn't throw a bunch of videos up. It's backed up by a brilliant team and by me teaching this for 13 years. No theory. Examples. How about I've got a swipe file. So the idea of a swipe file is it's basically a bunch of copy that you can look at for ideas to use in your copy. A swipe file. So you don't want to copy it directly, but use it for inspiration. So the swipe file is launches that I've done that generated $7 million. And you get swipe file for things like pre-launch content, the sales video, the JV sequence, something I haven't even talked about in this masterclass, but the whole JV sequence is as important as that open cart and pre-launch sequence. You get swipe file for that. Swipe file, it's just like this massive shortcut. It's like plug and play. It's like, oh, that's what Jeff did on that day of the launch. That's what he did. And you know what? The swipe file isn't just from my launches. It's also from other launches. And these are launches in various markets. It's not just this niche in this market that I'm in. So you can see we put together the full package. In fact, let me just take a look at my notes here to make sure I haven't forgotten the business launch formula. So the whole idea of, product launch formula gets you launched, that's awesome, but what about after you're launched? How do you take that launch and turn it into a real business? How did I go from that very first launch to creating an empire? It's the business launch formula, which is basically all about that stacking in the circle of awesome and going from one launch to another launch to another launch and always building your results, getting better launches and better positioning all the way through. That's the business launch formula. You get checklists, action guides, scripts, timelines. It's all designed to make this actionable. Doesn't do me any good if it's just ends up being theory for you. I've gone over that over. It's about getting you results. So we've built in every single piece we can to get you results. So if you have been impressed at all, if you've been in a Launch Club Facebook group and you've been impressed with what an amazing community we've got there, I think we can all agree that it's not your typical Facebook group with a bunch of people going in there spamming and just attacks back and forth. It's an incredible community. And here's a secret. So a lot of times people are like watching me do a launch. They think I'm some marketing magician, that I'm really great at doing launches. And I've got some experience, and I'm very, very good at doing launches. I'm very good at it. But it's been a learned process for me. Been learning it for 22 years. But I do have one superpower. And that superpower, I don't know exactly where I got this from, but my true superpower isn't launches. My superpower is community, developing an amazing community. And that's what we have inside the Product Launch Formula portal. So you have a community in that portal. Questions, comments, coaching. It's amazing. And then the next level of community I've got for you is we have a Facebook alumni group. So the Facebook alumni group so in the portal, we're going to have all our new students and a lot of our students that come and rejoin us each year. But in the Facebook alumni group, we have this incredible community of, that's all our PLF owners from the past. And it's so powerful because now you're rubbing shoulders with giants. There are giants in the PLF community. There are people in the PLF community that have done tens of millions of dollars of launches, that have done dozens and dozens of launches, that have done in every kind of market you can imagine. And the PLF alumni group, the Facebook group, is where they hang out. It's like a resource like you can't even imagine. And you get to be in the PLF Facebook alumni group. It's super, super powerful. That's that community superpower building I've got. Superpower community building I've got. It's incredible. It's incredible. That's where you go to get your questions answered. That's where you can go. You know what? When you go through a launch, the energy goes up and down. The energy goes up and down. You're doing great things. And that's where you go get reassurance, get reality checks, get coaching, get people cheering you on from the most amazing community of people that know your language. That's the thing inside. You might have noticed in our case studies, we have our own language within Product Launch Formula in our community. We use terms. You've heard them in the case studies. They throw them out. Things like the parachute, the launch echo, the awesome sauce, just the awesome sauce email and the 34 minutes to go, and just all these different terminology. We have this common language. And when you get inside the Facebook community, in that PLF alumni group, you're now talking to people. It's your tribe. It's your tribe. It's your tribe of people who have launched and who are launching. Again, I'm just removing every obstacle between you and that launch that's going to give you that freedom. That's going to give you that lifestyle, that income, that impact. That's what this is all about. Okay, let me just make sure I haven't forgotten anything. It's a lot there. That's why I need a checklist. We all need checklists. Oh, I forgot about your bonuses. Your bonuses. So let me just talk a little bit about your bonuses. So there are an incredible list of bonuses here. And there's going to be a link in a few minutes, and you can click over and see a list of those bonuses. So So you don't have to write these down. So you can just sit there and let these wash over you because there are a lot of them. First of all, you get my entire Launching Your List course. So this course, brand new, remade for PLF 2019. This is how to build a list of people that want what you have. They want to buy your products. They want to buy your services. They want to be part of your world. So launching your list, I've said this before, you've heard it in the case studies, a launch is the best way to build your list. And you're going to build your list when you do your launch. And I wanted to give you an entire course on list building and how to do it. That's launching your list. You get that entire course when you join the Product Launch Formula Coaching Program. You also get the product creation code. So if you are like, Jeff, seed launch sounds great, but I need more on how to actually create a product, that's what this course is about. Full course inside the PLF portal. You don't have to go anywhere else. Launching Your List and the product creation code are both contained within the portal. So you don't have to leave there. Full course. Boom. Got you covered. Product creation. Done. You also get 2 tickets to my PLF Live 2019 program. So this is a live in-person event. So we're going to be physically together in person. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, United States. We don't have the contract signed, but it looks like it's going to be in April of 2019. Last time we had people from like 35 or 40 countries attended PLF Live. Super international. 60% are from the States, 40% from outside the States. People from everywhere in the world came for 3 days. It's me on stage for 3 days. It's not like I bring up a whole bunch of different speakers and each one of them's giving you a 45-minute talk and then pitching their stuff for hours. That's not this. That's me on stage. Typically, I'll have one outside speaker during the full 3 days. There are 3 full-length days. It's a workshop. We're going to get your launch planned. Because I've got basically a completely different way. I have Product Launch Formula is boom, the coaching program, I teach you everything. But when I get you live in this room with me, when we're together, and there's going to be a lot of us. It's usually, last year it was almost 1,000 people. When we get 1,000 people, the energy is super incredibly powerful, incredibly, awesomely inspiring. And we'll get your launch done. Whether you've already done a launch, we'll get your next launch planned. If you haven't done a launch yet, we'll get your first launch planned. I absolutely love PLF Live. It's 3 of the best days of the year for me. It's absolutely an amazing, amazing event. It's amazing community, amazing energy, and you will leave there enthused. You'll leave there with amazing connections, so you can meet your next partner there, your joint venture partners there. All millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars come out of each event because people are connecting. They're connecting with each other. They're building up their network. They're finding their partners. They're finding their content partners. They're finding their mastermind partners. They're finding inspiration. But in addition to inspiration and those amazing contacts, we're getting your launch done. Because when I've got you sitting in a room with me, we can make magic things happen. So that's PLF Live 2019. You get 2 tickets to PLF Live. If you can't make it this year, you can roll your ticket over to next year. Okay, you guys still with me? You want more bonuses? More bonuses? Would you like more bonuses? Let me know if you want more bonuses down in the comments, because we're just getting started. More bonuses. Woo! Your tech stack quick start. So this is brand new. In fact, it hasn't been created yet, because what I saw in the Facebook group is a lot of people with a lot of tech questions, more than we've ever seen. So we are going to get this taken care of. Specifically, my team is. In the old days, I used to do everything. Now that we've built up this team, they're like, Jeff, you just stand in front of the camera and look pretty and say things. And just kidding about that looking pretty. Jeff, you stand in front of the camera and teach, and let us handle the background. Let us take care of the technology. So they are the tech experts. And they are going to be putting this training together for you. That's basically, here are your suggested tech stacks. So all the things you need, how they fit together in your different situations, and then show you how to do it. So I saw this as a need. I'm like, you know what? We've got the team that can make that happen. So this is your tech pack, or your tech stack quick start, boom. It's probably not going to get done for a month, maybe 2 months, but we've got you covered. Okay, next up we have the Sparta launch. So the Sparta launch is a new, relatively new technology we have in my PLF community. It's something that really developed within my Platinum Plus group, and it wasn't even my idea, but we created it, they created it, we've done it over and over. It's an amazing launch. It's one of the simplest launch. It's an email-based launch. And you can only do this if you have some amount of a following and you've got some level of positioning, but you can charge super high prices, anywhere from $3,000 up to $25,000 we've seen. So far, that's the highest we've seen, but $3,000 to $25,000, just a few emails and your launch is done. So it's just a fantastic launch. We've got the Sparta launch training for you as a bonus. This is the closest thing. If you fit the right criteria, it's the closest thing to an easy button we've ever seen. It's just, like I said, there is no magic button to push, but if there was a magic button, the Sparta launch would be it. And you get the Sparta launch training as part of PLF. An additional bonus, you get almost the last bonus. No, not even almost, not even close to being the last bonus. Got a lot of bonuses for you. The live launch. So what I have done here is a new technology. The live launch is new. It's relatively easy to do, but there are plenty of gotchas, and we found them all during this launch. And this is another one. I'm going to create this because I have to sit down and we have to get with a team and say what worked and what do we want to do differently. So the anticipated delivery for this is November, and because I got to create it. We went into this launch not knowing what we were going to learn, and we learned an incredible amount. It's been an amazing experience. You might want to do a live launch. You might not want to do a live launch. But if you want to do one, this is the training. No one else has got this. This type of launch has never been done at this level of sophistication, with this level of participation. Never been done. Brand new. And I'm going to be showing you how I did it. Okay, then we have just 3 more bonuses plus an asterisk. 3 more bonuses. Operation Quick Start. So if this is perfect if you're just starting out, this training is going to show you what to do first to quickly get started in your business. This isn't a big, huge, long training. It's a mini module to get you started, just to get you off the ground. Next up, we have the secrets of leverage and scale. If you have a one-on-one business, a practitioner, you're working with people one-on-one, this is how you break out of that one-on-one and take it into a leveraged situation where you're now you leverage your time, you're making sales instead of just trading hours for dollars. This is how you break out of that with the secrets of leverage and scale. Again, this is a mini module. It's not 5 hours long, it's tight, it's condensed, but it will get you into a leveraged environment. And then another mini module is the launch partnership. So this is if you've ever thought about doing launches for other people. It's only going to apply to a few people watching this. But if you've ever thought about doing launches for other people as a launch manager, a launch coach, a launch consultant, this mini module is for you because it's a great business, but there are some serious pitfalls. And not many people know this, but for a brief window in time, for about a year, in 2006, 2007, I actually did this. I ran launches for people. And I had a lifetime of learning in that 1 year, and that's what I share with you in this launch partnership. Okay, so I have one more bonus for you there's an asterisk. This is only if you register today by midnight tonight, midnight US Pacific time. So that's today, Monday, September 24th, if you register tonight. I'm going to be doing I've never done this before. I'm going to be doing what I call a launch journey call. So this call is going to be happening in just 2 days from now, on this Wednesday. I'm going to be doing this call just for the people who should step up today and register today before midnight today. And so this is just me and just the people on board that are on board today. So it's going to be a small group of us, and it's going to be very intimate. And we're going to be talking about, it's basically, I'm going to be able to open the lines and talk directly to you about moving your launch journey forward. And specifically, we're going to be focusing on things like lead magnets, because there's a lot of questions about lead magnets. How do I create that opt-in lead magnet? And then also offers. And then finally, what is the story arc of your pre-launch? So we're going to be answering those 3 questions, and I'm going to be talking directly to you. We've got the technology where I can unmute individual lines, and then I'm going to be coaching you. So I've never offered this type of thing before, but I just let's go all in. I just wanted to go all in to get you launched. So that's if you buy by midnight tonight, September 24th. Okay, boom, we're done, right? No, we're not. Couple little details for you. And by the way, we're nowhere near being done. We've got a really cool case study, and I'm going to be doing Q&A after that. So, you might be wondering, how much does this cost? And so this is the deal, is it doesn't cost anything. It doesn't cost. This is an investment. I'm asking you to invest in your future. You know, I talked about John Gallagher being on food stamps, and the amount of money he spent on product launch formula is just, it's like 1/1000% of the money that he has made. It's just a fraction of the money he's made. If I look at what I paid for college, I got a business degree in college. I didn't learn much. I just learned a bunch of theory. I didn't get a proven system. When I look at what MBA costs right now, when you go and you pay for an MBA and get a advanced business degree, you're paying tens of thousands of dollars, and you don't get a guarantee. No guarantee. You just get a bunch of loans and no guarantee. And again, it's theory. It's theory. It's not a proven formula. What I've got for you is a proven formula. And so all I ask is that you invest right now. So there's 2 ways it can go. You can take the payment plan, and then it's $397 today, and then 5 more payments of $397. So a total of 6 payments of $397. Those payments are spread 30 days apart. So $397 today, you get on that bonus call with me, which is happening on Wednesday, that bonus launch journey coaching call, which is going to be epic, $397 today. And then every 30 days for another 5 payments, $397. Or you can go full in with me. And frankly, this is the way to go if you can do it. Because the people that go in full in, we just know statistically, they get the results. They're stepping all the way in. And then it's just $1,997, 1 payment. And we also have a special bonus. You get an extra bonus. It's called my Instant Guru Formula. That Instant Guru Formula is basically how to just really leverage your position in the market. So I know it sounds a little hokey, but you get instant authority, instant positioning, and truly it's not instant, but it's very, very, very fast. It's a shortcut to getting that leadership position. It's a massive shortcut to getting that leadership position in your market. That's a bonus if you go for the 1 pay at $1,997. Now, I mentioned before, if you go get an MBA, you don't get a guarantee. With me, you get a guarantee. 30 days, money back, guarantee. It's that simple. It doesn't work for you. You just, all of a sudden, you get sick. Something happens in your life. It's not the right time. It's just not working. You don't like the way I look on video. You just send an email. It takes 1 email. 1 email to my customer service team, and we got you your money back. You get to watch the full 30 days, which is basically 4 modules. In 4 modules, we take you through a huge amount of training. So you can go watch those modules and get a refund. And you know what? You've already got that training. I can't get that back from you. That's fine. I hope you go out and rock it. But that's just the way I do it. I don't worry about you getting those 4 modules and those bonuses. That's fine. Because that's just the way I roll. I've done this from the start, 30-day guarantee. We have issued refunds before, and we will issue refunds in the future. No hard feelings. I can't get your money back fast enough. So that's what I've got for you. Product Launch Formula 2019, best product launch formula ever. It's right now there should be a button. If our technology all works right, there should be a button popping up underneath this, the video here. You should see that button right now. And my team, if it doesn't work, they're going to be letting me know any second. I would love to have you join me. Right here, I would love to have, these are the people that step up into the product launch for the coach pro. You know what? I love you anyway. Whether you join, whether you don't join. It's not going to change my life. I'm going to be just fine either way. But what I know is when you join your fellow PLF owners, that's when I've got the best chance of getting you results. That's when I can make an impact on you. That's what I want. I want you launched. I want you launched, and I want you making 100 times your investment. I want you to make 1,000 times your investment. And my team and I, we've worked really, really hard to create the greatest PLF ever. It's not theory. It's proven. Now's your time. You're going to build something great. You're going to build something great. You're going to help so many people. You're going to get your work out there. You're going to create a great lifestyle. You're going to create a great income. You're going to create true freedom. That's what this is about. So right now there's a button. Go ahead and click that. Join me. Get everything I talked about. Plus, get on that launch journey call with me in 2 days, where it's just going to be me and you and the people that have jumped on board right here at the very beginning. I can't wait to see you in PLF 2019. So right now, I'm going to roll a really cool case study. You're going to love this one. And then we're going to come back for some Q&A. So I'm here with Dylan Frost, and Dylan has a really cool story of what he's done with his launches and how he's done them. So Dylan, thanks for joining us. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. Yeah, I'm 28 years old. I come from, I don't know if you can hear it in the way that I talk, from Eastern Kentucky. And my business partners and I, several years ago, in about 2011, we started selling physical products on Amazon, and we got pretty good at it. That business began to grow more and more. And around the year 2015, it's kind of interesting. Came across Jeff and what he teaches in PLF, and I had no experience or knew nothing about marketing or knew nothing about what launches were, the concepts behind launches, but learned about the strategies of launches from him. And we thought to ourselves, we know how to sell on Amazon. We know how to create income with Amazon. We can teach other people how to do this too. And just using the teachings from PLF, we were able to create launch a new business of consulting and training, teaching other people to do what we had learned the hard way over several years. And we had immediate success. Our very first launch was crazy. Our website was built on something called Wix, if anyone has heard of Wix, because we had no technology background really. We didn't know how to build websites, so we used Wix, which is just like a really easy website builder. So that's how we used a friend's payment processor to take payments, because we didn't have one ourselves, and we just knew someone who could take payment for us. So we used his. And that first launch did $140,000 in sales. Our PLC videos were just PowerPoint slides that were narrated. And it was still that successful. So, I mean, we couldn't believe it. It didn't even feel like it was real or that it could be true. So we started diving. We thought maybe it was a fluke, right? So we dove in to try to do it again, to have another launch, to improve upon it. And that one did. And like just a few months later, like 6 months later, that one did $330,000 in sales. Then we did another launch about 6 months later. That one did $600,000 in sales. By this point, I almost felt like I knew what I was doing, but not quite still. Still was trying to learn as much as I could. And then after that, we've had 4 consecutive $1 million launches, 1.2 million, 1.4 million, and that's just in launches. Like we've been able to do all kinds of other things with this new business that has literally come about because of PLF.
That's amazing. So, because originally you had success on Amazon, but you were using their websites and their process. Obviously, everything goes through Amazon. It doesn't go through you. So you had no site whatsoever.
Oh, right.
How did you, and then that progression from 100 some to 300 some to 600 some to a million. Amazing. Amazing. So how did you have a list?
No, no list, nothing like that. So that first launch that did over $100,000 in sales, the day that our first PLC video came out, our email list was 0. And we were using Aweber, I remember at the time, is what the account that I had created in preparation for maybe sending people emails. If anyone ever subscribed, I wasn't sure. What we did in our situation was we just networked a little bit at conferences, talked to some other people that also like were kind of in the space, and we had a pretty successful Amazon business, so people were willing to want to work with us or to learn from us or to promote what the knowledge or information that we had. So what we did was exactly what you do and teach is we were just trying to provide value to people. We were just trying to give value to as many people as we could for free and support and help people. And that includes people that could maybe potentially promote for us. And we were able to get one person. It was just one person that agreed to promote the course that we had created. And he did so, and through a Facebook group. He didn't even have an email list. He just had like a Facebook group that had people in it, and he promoted it there that had maybe 1,000 people in it. And that we were able to do over $100,000 in sales with a Facebook group, being promoted to a Facebook group with just about 1,000 people in it.
A Facebook group that you didn't own, you didn't control. It wasn't your favorite.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Did you, was that like a joint venture relationship where you paid that person a commission, or was it just?
Yeah. That's what we did in that situation. Yeah.
That is amazing. And so did you drive people from the Facebook group to you? Well, I guess you drove them to the PLC, so you took them through an opt-in page, and then they joined your list, and then they were on your Aweber list.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back. I don't even know if I had an opt-in. I don't even know if I knew how to do it then. It was, so I may not have. That's how little we knew. We were just, that's the thing that people have told me. I don't really know because I'm the one experiencing it and living it. But a lot of people tell me that we just do stuff, like that we don't let things get in our way. We don't worry, that we're just going to try things and see how they work, and we'll learn from them. And that's how we've always approached things. And that seems to have always worked really well for us, is we just do it. There's nothing, we're never afraid. We're never gun shy.
You don't let perfection get in the way of progress.
Oh, definitely not.
That's fantastic. How did you go? What was so first of all, your product is it's a training product on how to sell on Amazon. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Got it. And so what was the difference between 100,000 and 300,000 approximately? I know that those numbers aren't exact, but a little over 100,000, a little over 300,000 in just a few months. What did you learn, and what did you implement, and what made that difference?
Yeah, I know some of the big differences where we upgraded the PLC. We went from them being narrated PowerPoint slides to being really low quality, poorly shot video of my partners talking in front of like a white background, right? Like something like that. So, I mean, it wasn't good by any stretch of the imagination, but it still helped. So that was one thing. And then because of the success of the first launch, the success that those students were having based on what we had taught, picked up a few more referral partners, affiliate partners that would help us promote. We were, that was kind of the thing. It just started, the ball started rolling, and we felt really good all along about, and we were confident that we could help people and that we could teach people to be successful. And that worked out, and that bred more success for the business to be able to grow, because that's always our focus. And what was our focus from the very beginning is like, we just know that we can help people. And if we work as hard as we can for our first students that ever enroll into our course, if we work really hard to make sure that they're successful, the rest of our business will kind of take care of itself from there, because we'll be able to leverage the successes that we created with them to be able to reach more people. And it has worked that way.
Is that basically now you're into the $1 million launches, and is it just a progression? You're just getting better with your PLC, you're getting better with your storytelling, you've got more results to show, or is there anything else in there?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like when we first started, and I'm not kidding, like no background in any kind of understanding how to do any of this at all, or how to even run the tech for any of it. Just got started 3 years ago. From that time where I was so what I would call ignorant to now, I'm having these high level conversations. It's crazy how much your life can change and how much you can learn and grow as a person or in business in like 3 years time. But sometimes I'll be having a conversation with somebody about what we're doing in business now. And then I'll have this weird moment of reflection where I'm just like, if someone was in a corner listening to us, they would think that we were speaking another language. It's so crazy how we've evolved, and the new tactics and strategies that we're constantly adding into our launches, trying and testing things that we're seeing so many other people do. It's been fantastic. Yeah, it's so much that you learn in life. You learn from other people. It's not like what makes you a success are all original thoughts that you come up with. You have to surround yourself with the smartest people, with the brightest people, the most successful people that you can, and learn from them. And I've done that, and it's helped me tremendously. I guess that's you. You're one of them.
Cool. I'm glad I could help along that journey. I mean, so it's really interesting because you had a successful business on Amazon, selling via Amazon. And in a lot of ways, there's a lot of great things about that business. But all of a sudden, you've created like a serious business that's doing multi-millions per year, that's now completely separate, that's completely yours, that you're in control of.
Yeah.
What's that like? What's that transition been like?
It's nice. It's actually, I was going to dog you a little bit here. I shaved for this interview because I felt like maybe I needed to if some people were going to be seeing me. And that's not something I generally do. I shave maybe like once every 6 or 7 weeks. I cut myself shaving. And the reason I bring that up is that's the life that I like to live. I love being able to have my own business and run my own business because in my prior life, I'm not that old, but I mean, I used to have a job where I worked for other people and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. But now I have a job where I usually don't have to shave. I'm wearing basketball shorts right now and flip flops. And that's the kind of life that I enjoy, and the freedom to do what I want, how I want, when I want. It's crazy. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to fathom like where I came from and where we are now. Like our businesses combine to do over $10 million in sales a year now. And effectively, I guess it's true, since PLF, we have definitely more than doubled tripled the amount of revenue that we do a year amongst all our businesses, because the things that we've learned in PLF, the connections that I've been able to make with meeting new people in this whole launch world has helped the Amazon business as well significantly, because the stuff that you teach and the things that I've learned from you and other people can learn from you can be applied to any kind of business. To me, it's selling on Amazon to actually anything. It's so many important fundamental business principles, fundamental marketing principles, human psychology principles that can make your business more successful. And it definitely has for us.
That's fantastic. So you're using PLF in your Amazon business to help sell on Amazon?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because a product launch doesn't necessarily have to be a course or a training. A product launch can be an actual product, a physical product.
And what does pre-launch look like? And what does a sequence look like for an Amazon type of product?
So it typically revolves around we don't create our own products. We partner with brands who already have their own products, and they have lists. They have access to customers And we're able to teach them how to leverage their lists. That most of the time they do a really, really bad job of utilizing themselves. So we're able to launch their own products on their own lists using the stuff that we've learned from you that they had no idea how to do successfully at all.
That's really cool. And so one of the things that is coming through loud and clear is your bias to action. And I know that I can get caught up in perfectionism. And I know a lot of the people watching this are the same way, where they just want things to be perfect. They just keep on planning and planning and planning, but you're ready, fire, aim. And I love that. And so could you just, in closing here and wrapping up, do you have any advice for the people? Can you get people moving? Help me get them moving.
Just do stuff. Just do stuff. You have to take that kind of action. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to change. Nothing changes if you don't do anything. And what's the worst that can happen? And the answer to that is almost always, nothing. Nothing bad can really happen to you if it doesn't work out. You learn so much more from making mistakes or just taking action and failing than you ever learn from sitting around trying to be a perfectionist. It's the much, in my opinion, it is the much better business model to just take action and try stuff and see how it shakes out. You'll learn way more from the results of that than you would trying to get it just right the first time.
Dylan, thanks so much. It's been great. Congratulations. It's an amazing story. I can't believe the progress, what you've gone through in 3 years, and the progression in your launch is absolutely amazing. Great talking to you. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I love Dylan because he's just so low key and so chill and just crushing it. So did you get this? Zero list, no technology. His first launch he did just with PowerPoint and a voice over PowerPoint. 140,000 to I was getting a little carried away here. 330,000, 600,000, 1.2 million, 1.4 million. He's done $3 million launches. Absolutely amazing. So he's teaching people how to have success on Amazon. But he's also taken the strategy, the PLF, the formula, and he has applied it selling stuff on Amazon. So I thought that was really cool. The thing that the reason I wanted to show you this is just his, hey, I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm just going to move forward. And I put in here, I just wrote down fail forward to success. So he's just failing forward, fail, and boom, success. Because of action, because of progress, not perfection. I love that phrase. I want you to have progress, not perfection. I want you to focus on the baby steps. I've said that phrase a lot. And when you join me in PLF, you're going to hear it from me. It's one of my key things, baby steps. I didn't get here by 22 years ago saying, one day I'm going to have some amazing secret headquarters and I'm going to build the equivalent of a TV studio and I'm going to do 12 hours of live broadcast. I didn't start off that way. I started off taking baby steps, and that's what he was all about. He went from Facebook with zero list, a Facebook group that he didn't have, didn't control, didn't own. It was someone else's Facebook group. And then he drove them, and he wasn't even sure if he went into a list or straight into his PLC. And that was his initial $140,000 launch. And then there's just bias to do stuff. I loved it. Dylan, he's a gangster. It's amazing what he's done just by moving forward. So from my understanding, it's that the button loaded for most people, but for a few people, the button didn't automatically load. If you hit the refresh button, then it will load. The button will load for sure, and then you can go over and sign up for Product Launch Formula. Now, I know it worked for some people. In fact, my team has been scrambling in the background, and they want me to welcome in. These are just the people that this isn't everyone. We'll catch up, but they're scrambling to put these into something I can read. But welcome to Vanessa in California, Adam in New York, Pat in Texas, Courtney in North Carolina, Rochelle in California, Candace in Colorado, Pamela in Pennsylvania, Gary in Ontario, Canada, Laureen in Kentucky, United States, Cassandra in Alabama, Teeny in New York, Majid in Canada, Anne in California, Joachim in Germany, Minju in Canada, Kaylee in the United States, Kara in the United States, Matthew in Japan, Jim in California, Cynthia in Florida, John in Utah, Terry in Oregon, Connie in British Columbia. Welcome to all of you into the PLF family. Gloria in California, Manuela in Austria, Shay in Australia, Paulette in Wisconsin, Carolyn in Texas, Debbie in Colorado, Gary in Australia, Sharon in Georgia, United States, Paul in Australia, Consuelo in Illinois, Phil in Australia, Vicky in Canada, Raphael in Cyprus, David in California, Andrew in Texas, Max in California, Tanzania in Norway, hello in Mozambique, Bethany in Florida, Mary in Wisconsin, Lauren, Virginia, Zafla Rania in Arizona, Sharon in Georgia, Juan in Michigan, Kurt in Delaware, Tanya in Ontario, Canada, Tammy in Maryland, Robert in Canada, Linda in Texas, and Jack in Nevada. We'll update some more for you a little later. But in the meantime, I want to go to, this is a case study with one of the absolute superstars of the PLF community, someone who's been in the community since I think '09, someone who's actually become a dear friend of mine. And I don't know if I've ever done a case study with her. I'm not sure if I have. It's great. Let's roll it with Susan. Hey, I'm here with Susan Garrett, who is a product launch formula owner and has an amazing, amazing story and an incredible amount to share. Susan, welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Great. Yeah, it's great to be here with you. Thanks so much. Could you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself and your business?
I am a dog trainer who I'm best known in the sport of dog agility, although I've been doing a lot in the pet market more recently, thanks to Jeff. And back in 2009, I was making my living primarily doing lectures around the world. And so I was on the road between competing, because I still am a competitor, between competing and lecturing. I was on the road about 200 days a year. I had a website that we had, an e-com site that was a very, very small portion of our income. The majority of the income came from those live events, but it was, there were two problems. It was draining. I was on the road a ton, and it was frustrating for me because I'd be in like Australia 1 year and I wouldn't be back for 3 years. And it was very difficult for my students there to get continuity and to really see any kind of improvement. So that's basically, I've competed in the sport of dog agility since the late 80s. I've won many world championships in that sport, and I've won, 30 or 40 national championships in the US and Canada. I've written books and DVDs, and that's it.
Cool. And so so you had that e-commerce site, yeah, and you had some DVDs. Do you have a book? There was a book.
Yeah, I had a couple books and a couple DVDs, but most of all of the sales up until PLF, I would produce a DVD and just give it to wholesalers, and probably 99% of the sales went through the wholesalers, of which we got a percentage. And then, it was like if someone stumbled upon my website, they would maybe buy a product from us. So yeah, it wasn't a big part of what we did.
So that was before PLF. What happened after PLF?
So I'll give you the whole story. You can edit out what you want, Jeff. Okay. In 2009, my husband and I were building a house, and we were living in this tiny little apartment. So, 1 room. And I was really driven because I'd been on the road so much, and my husband had 3 heart attacks at that point. And I knew I wanted to be home. So I was trying to change my business model. How could I be home, and how could I help people on a more consistent basis? Those were the 2 things that drove me. And I really thought, well, maybe I'll start some online membership. And I knew nothing about the technical side of doing anything on a computer. I knew how to open some programs and be on some lists. And I didn't even know how to put anything on my website. So I knew nothing about that. And so I stumbled across Jeff's offer. And as I said, we were building this house. We didn't have any money because the builder went over. As you guys, if you built a house, you know. And I was a little bit concerned about my husband's response to this big ticket product. And it was a huge, for me, I don't know about anybody watching this, but a lot of these online courses are huge investment for somebody like, you know, I hadn't spent more than, I don't know, $30 or $40 in an online purchase up to that point. And so there was the worry about, is this guy some sort of schmarmy, you know, slippery guy that's going to sell me something and then I'm going to be regretting it forever. That was my big concern. And then I don't know, maybe you were tied with what would John say when he sees that I spent $2,000 on a product when we really were money strapped at that point. So, but I knew I wanted to change my business model. And I also knew that what Jeff talked about, I had a new DVD coming out and I thought, well, maybe I could just launch this DVD in the way that Jeff talked about using this model. So that's why I jumped in. What was the reassurance for me was there was a guarantee and a true guarantee. And I'll just put in, like I did, you know, meditate on it. And what came back to me is this guy's authentic. Whether that helps any of you or not, but let me tell you, after now 9 years hanging around with him, I can say he's definitely authentic.
Thank you. Thank you. So what happened then?
So then I panicked a little bit. Anybody who spent that much money on an online course, you might panic a little bit. And so I actually emailed Jeff. He had a case study on his website with somebody by the name of Jane Savoy, who I knew because I started in dressage in the horse world. And I said, Mr. Walker, I want to be your next Jane Savoy, but do it in the dog world. But I need to be able to like fast track. Is there any way you would let me fast track and get some information, you know, quick? And I don't know if it was you, Jeff, or somebody signing your name said, yeah, we can help you out. We can give you some information ahead of time. You know, module 1's open, do all you can there and we'll help you out. Long story short, I took the information that I had available in 3 weeks after buying PLF, and I launched an ebook. Just as my hope was to get all the money back that I paid, plus, you know, things like I had to buy a subscription. I mean, it was just such it was a real fight for me because I didn't know technically anything and everything was a frustration to me. But long story short is I was able to get that investment that I made. Plus I think in total that ebook brought in $27,000, which was like a complete mind blow. And I know anybody watching this is going to think this woman's full of crap. But that's how it happened. It happened in 3 weeks, and I am a quick start. I will put that. Not everybody's a quick start, and I knew nothing. I literally knew nothing technically. And can I tell my little story about how little I knew technically?
Sure.
Okay. So when you're a member of PLF, they have these coaching sessions which are amazing. However, at that time, Jeff was doing a coaching session, and he, you know, I don't think he enunciates very well at this time. You know, he's much better now, or maybe it was the technology that was better, but he talked about paperclip marketing. And I kept, you know, I would Google for the next day, paperclip marketing, paperclip. And I finally said, I can't get with this paperclip. And what he was really saying was pay per click. It's I still don't really know what it is. It's a way to get leads, I guess. But so the joke, I have this paper clip that Jeff gave me. He signed my paper clip when I had a big launch. And
because you asked me this
I asked
on the coaching call. So what's paper?
Nobody could be more naive about the technical side of online business than I was. And I'm slightly more advanced now. The advantage I have today is I have a team to help me. Back then I didn't have a team. And you guys may be like me in that when I tried to make this decision, I asked 3 people. three people whose opinion I valued. One was in the dog training space. I don't know if I've told you this story, Jeff. One was a guy I really had a lot of faith in. It technically. He knew a lot. He actually could help me out with my tech stuff. And another was a business guy. Do you think I should buy this product? And the dog person said, dog training is a mechanical skill. It needs to be done in person. It won't work. Don't do it. The tech person said, you can do this on your own. Like these guys, they're not going to give you anything you don't already know. It's just common sense. And the business guy said, you know, you've got a great business. Don't throw that away. So the lesson I learned is listen to your gut. People don't listen to people around you. You know, I had a need in that I needed to make sure my students got more consistent attention from me, and I needed to be home more. And this was the way I saw it, and it was the best decision I've ever made. I mean, my life is not the same because of it.
So $27,000, and importantly, that beat the credit card bill before the bill came in.
It was fun because I didn't tell John, and all, you know, all this income came into our bank account, and he wasn't, you know, he didn't necessarily look until the end of the month when he got the Visa bill, and then I could show him. I pulled up the online banking info because he didn't do the online stuff, and I'm like, look, we've 10x that investment. That's not bad.
And so what has it done since then? Walk us forward, because your life is very, very different.
So yeah, it is super different now. I do occasionally speak in person now, but only when I want to, not because that's my business model. My students are so much better. The consistency around the world is unbelievable. So there is no doubt this is the best model for anything that is a mechanical skill, whether you're teaching guitar or dog training or horse, or, you know, it is definitely the best model for that. And that the launches have been able to grow every time. So instead of, you know, 10xing my little investment there, we've now over 17 times grown our business since we first started, right? And I was a successful person. I mean, I was well respected, and I was one of the best in the world. I'd like to consider myself still one of the best in the world at what I do. And but now, you know, it's grown into the pet market, and it's very clear what my mission is that we are changing the world, and we're changing the world for dogs, which is in turn changing the world for people. And that's just the, you know, the extension of taking a chance and growing my business. And then, you know, instead of having that, you know, celebrating and going crazy about this $27,000 launch, now we're celebrating and going crazy about $1 million launches. And the thing for me is the impact that has, not just in the number of students that we help, but that we can take that money and we can now give it to charities that need our help. And yeah, so my life has changed. I'm doing what I love, plus helping in areas that I love to help out in as well.
So 17 times, the story just never gets old, because it's amazing. How many dog owners, like back in the day, 10 years ago, you'd work with what, a few dozen or a few hundred dog owners a year, maybe, or something like that. And now it's what, thousands?
Oh, tens of thousands, Jeff. We have students in over 85 countries around the world. And I certainly couldn't get to 85 countries in a year. And it's tens of thousands of students that have been through our program. So we went from doing, you know, what I thought I was buying PLF for was to launch this DVD, because I really thought what I wanted was a membership, and I could see how I could help by coaching online using PLF and by having classrooms online using PLF. So it certainly, it's morphed, and like I've now helped other people with their launches, which I mean, I still want to be a dog trainer, but I just see people who are spinning the wheels going, oh my gosh, PLF is the answer to. So I helped a friend of mine with a dog cancer documentary. I helped him do a launch. I helped somebody else with a mindset program do a launch. I've done launches for charity where all the money went to. So the impact is just exponential from where I was, going around the world and running myself ragged and not seeing my husband nearly as much as I wanted to, or my dogs at home.
So what's the difference? So you've done a lot of launches now, lots, but like 9 years, and you do multiple launches a year, and they're extraordinary, just absolutely extraordinary. And you've all now helped a few people with their launches. What's the difference between the people that, and you've been to so many of my events, and what's the difference between the people you see having success and the people who are not having success?
Ooh, that's a great question, Jeff. I think there's a couple things. The people who aren't having success are information gatherers. And I did the same thing. I bought PLF and I had all this extraordinary success. Like I had, I think the second launch I had was over $200,000, my second launch. And so then I thought, well, if this guy gave me this much, I'm buying everyone's crap. And I went for, about 7 months just buying everything I could, realizing not everybody online is Jeff Walker. They're not the real deal. Not saying there aren't more that are the real deal, but Jeff resonates with the kind of person I want to be and the kind of coaching I want to give. So I realized that if you find something that works, stick with it. So number one, you don't have to own everybody's product. That just stay focused and do the work, and it works. And I think the other thing is people feel they have to get it perfect, which, as we know, perfection is just another form of procrastination. And my motto is, just get out there and do shit. Like, it doesn't matter. I did it in 3 weeks because I don't mind failing. So you have to embrace failure as an experience that will take you to a new level of understanding of what you're doing. I didn't understand PLF. There was so much I didn't understand, but Jeff said this magic thing. And I don't know if it was during your launch or it was in one of the first lessons of PLF. And I think it was during the launch, because he said, even if you only get 10% of this right, you're going to have an impact on your business. And I'm like, well, crap, I get 10% right. Like, I'm in. And so that's what started is go with the mindset. It doesn't have to be perfect. Try to get 10% right. Have a go at it and see where it leads you. It will lead you to a different place that you are at today. Even if it isn't an extraordinary launch, it will give you the information about the process, about what your community's pain points are, about how you could help serve in a different way. So every launch gives you more information to help generate more help for your community.
Mm-hmm. And in your launches, you do such a great job of delivering a huge amount of value. And you also do a great job of the launch, of making the sales. I mean, it just shows in your results. Your first launch, you said 27,000, your second one was 200. I didn't know that. That's almost the 10X.
No.
That's amazing. So how do you, when you go into launch, how do you think about it in terms of creating value, but still leading into the sale?
I always go, whether I'm writing a blog post, which by the way, I didn't have a blog before I bought PLF. Whether I'm writing a blog post or setting out to do a launch, I always come from like, how can I serve? What do these people need? And I think when you really get real about that, and it might be hard if you're, you're cash strapped and you really want to make back your money on PLF, and you might get focused on the wrong thing. But if you really just keep focusing on that, the answers are going to come to you about how you can have a bigger impact in the community and how you can reach out to people. So I love to, I'm just driven to help. It doesn't matter if somebody wants my marketing help now, because I can help people with marketing, or they want, that's who I am, is I want to help. And so if you come from a place that I want to have I want to help serve this community that I love, and get really focused on who are those people that you want to serve, who do you want to be a mentor to, then like it all just falls into place. But it's not a linear road, right? Like, you don't go from, hey, Susan Garrett did this and went from here to here. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of here and here, but I didn't get down about the here. I'm like, okay, where are my lessons? Because every failure has given me some lessons to be better the next time out. And don't worry about being down below the curve.
And so for someone wondering if they can actually launch, what would you say to them?
If they, what was that, Jeff?
if they were wondering, could this actually work? Could I actually launch? Could I have an online business? What would you say to them?
I would say, if you have something of value to share with people, and I think one of the things I want to suggest is people get really narrow about their focus, and that's coming from a place of service as well. Because if you go, I want to make money, well, I could say, I want every dog owner in the world to buy my stuff. And that's not what I want. I want every dog owner with an interest in agility that's struggling with these problems to buy my stuff, because I know I could have a massive impact on you. And so that messaging comes out in your launching. And so if you are a person sitting there watching this and saying, hey, I do have something I know that I can help other people with. You don't have to be a world champion of anything. I've seen so many people that just, I've said to someone, you got to buy Jeff's product, because that's something you need to share, whether it's you're the best you know how to plan an event, a birthday party better than anybody else. If you've got some skill that people go, wow, that's something that you are really good at, and you want to share that, and you can narrow that down to a small part of how you can be of service to others, then you should be launching. It's pretty simple.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic, Susan. I know when I first learned about this whole idea of selling information online, and we were in a desperate state at that point. My family, we needed money, and so I'm like, this sounds like a good business, but what could I possibly teach? What could I share? And that was holding me back. But I know at the same time, I was obsessing about the stock market, studying the stock market, study 8 hours a day, and then I would sit at night and say, what could I teach people? And
that holds so many people back, Jeff, because I know people will look at, well, Susan Garrett's got this agility course. I could never do anything agility because she's won way more than me, and she's studied education more. How about you launch an agility course that shares with people how a novice deals with adversity in the sport of agility? That's a perspective I couldn't share about. So wherever you are, there's somebody out there that needs somebody to meet them at that same place. And that's where you start, and you launch your product to help them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Susan. This is awesome. You're awesome. Really appreciate it.
This guy's the real deal, I promise.
I love Susan. She is absolutely amazing. What she accomplishes is incredible. Her mindset is incredible. Her approach to competition or failure is basically I either win or I learn something. So every time I compete, I win. Her moving forward is like I either have a success or I learn something. So I'm successful every time. Absolutely amazing. Susan, if you're watching, I love you. You're incredible. So she talked about the investment and how PLF was a huge investment for her, but it ended up paying off in such a huge way. She worried about her husband, John, and what he would say when he got the credit card statement. Well, she went out and she made it happen. 3 weeks to $27,000. Amazing. She's 17 times grown her business. So just as an example, if you had a $10,000 business, that would be $170,000, right? If you had a $100,000 business, that would be 1.7 million, 17 times. Unbelievable. She now does $1 million launches. And I loved right at the end where she was talking about the niche. She's like, hey, she just completely owns dog agility. I mean, she is the person in the dog agility market, and she does really, really well. But she's like, you know what? I can't teach what it's like to be a beginner in dog agility. Someone else could do that. So there's niches and there's sub-niches and there's sub-niches. Don't teach dog agility the way Susan does. Teach it from the perspective of a beginner or whatever your perspective is. And you can do that in any market that you're in, any niche that you're in. You can just drill down and find out where is your expertise and what domain of knowledge can you bring with your unique perspective. When I was teaching about the stock market, there was millions of newsletters, millions of them, or no, probably not millions. Guarantee there weren't millions. There were thousands of newsletters about the stock market, but I brought my unique perspective. So that's what you can do if you're struggling with a niche. I love this. So now, speaking of niches, we've had just in these case studies I've shared. There's lots more, but just the ones I've shared in the masterclass: fetal alcohol syndrome, fitness and weight loss, real estate investing, empowering women in Africa, cake decorating, accountants, helping accountants with their business, parenting in Mexico, selling paintings, teaching with up to $12,000, launches for $12,000 paintings, how to paint courses. We've had a lot of people have great success with how to paint, how to draw. With Angela, she was in that little video I showed you where I was about my Grand Canyon trip, and then it showed the people so excited about their launches, and she's the one that did it. Was tiptoeing towards $500,000 teaching people how to draw. Amazon sellers and dog training. I mean, what a portfolio that is. So now I just want to go to the Q&A. We've got some questions coming in. And first of all, from my understanding, there's a lot going on right now. My team's scrambling. Well, my understanding is a lot of the people that have jumped on board already and already registered for Product Launch Formula have gone into the comments and they're just saying, I just registered. So I want to celebrate you and thank you. Just thank all the people that have already jumped on board. It's so exciting. So I'm just going to go to some questions right now. If you have questions, especially if you have questions about moving forward with Product Launch Formula and with the Product Launch Formula coaching program, then type them in and I'm going to get to them. So remember that when you click the button, you can see all the things that come with Product Launch Formula. There's a lot there. And if you register today by tonight, by midnight, U.S. Pacific time, I can't do the translation to your local time right now, U.S. Pacific time tonight, then you can be on that Launch Journey bonus call where I'm personally on that call with just the people that have jumped on board, and we're going to be going through your launch journey, which is how to figure out what your lead magnet is, how to figure out what your offer is, and how to think about that whole story arc that you've got for your pre-launch content. So there's three really, they're critical steps. If you join today, you're going to be on that call with me where I'm going to be unmuting the lines individually and I'll be able to talk to everyone. I can't guarantee I'm going to get to everyone, but it's going to be an amazing call. Now, if you register today, by tonight, if you register by tonight at midnight, and like I said, I don't know what Pacific time translates for you, so the safest thing you can do is just click over and register right now, of course. It's the safest thing that you could do. Then, and you can't be on that call with me, then you will get the recording of the call. So I'm going to jump to some questions right now. Is there substantial training included in Product Launch Formula on messaging and creating an effective copy? Yes, there is. There's not only training on it, and which is sort of like takes several different forms, but we've got tons of different examples for you where I walk through the examples and I say what works and what doesn't work, where you can literally, you're not going to copy and paste someone else's copy into your copy, but you can take that and you can modify it and use it in yours. So we've got some incredibly effective copy that I've written, that other people have written, and it's for emails, it's for videos, and it's basically that you can use within your launch. So Sean David says, this is awesome, but I need to build a website first. Do you help out with the tech to make all this possible? So yes, that's that bonus. In fact, let me pop over to my bonus page. That is your tech stack quick start bonus. So this is how to put this together. Now, I just want to point out one little sort of messaging or flaw here. You said, I need to build my website first. This isn't about building a big fancy website. I mean, if you want to go do that, fine. But really, to get started, you need an opt-in page. And there's tools where you can create that opt-in page in literally minutes. Now, you're also going to have to create your lead magnet or the idea for a lead magnet. And here's something. This is all iterative. It's all you start and then you move forward and you course correct. You get better and better and better and better. So a lot of people are worried about, like, what's my lead magnet? And you don't have to get your lead magnet perfect. Like, for instance, I am doing a launch. This is my Product Launch Formula launch. The Launch Masterclass is my launch. So my lead magnet for this was a free Launch Masterclass. That I've never offered that lead magnet before. I've had dozens and dozens and dozens of lead magnets over the years. So you just create your first one, and if it converts and people are really excited about it, that's fine. And then if not, you create a different one, and it could just be one video or one PDF. It doesn't have to be all this, what I created. It doesn't have to be 12 hours of content. We're now over 12 hours into this Launch Masterclass. So you don't need to build a fancy site. You just need to get your opt-in page, and you will get training on that, and the tools for that are absolutely incredible these days. Okay, Carolyn asked, does the coaching start in 2019? No, it starts right now. We couldn't, after getting you all pumped up, all jacked up, all stoked, we're gonna launch. I can't then say, well, yeah, but wait for 3 months. So the coaching starts actually immediately. So if you join right now, we've got some goodies to get you started right now. Like how fast can you fill out your credit card? How fast can you fill out that order form? If you can do it in 1 minute, then the coaching starts in 1 minute. If it takes you 2 minutes, then the coaching starts in 2 minutes. So the way it lays out is there's some goodies in the portal right now for you. I guarantee you right in the portal, I haven't been in there because I've been talking to you, but I guarantee you we're already starting to build a community. People are already in there. They're already watching some videos. They're already excited. They're like, I'm done with the masterclass, Jeff. I'm tuned out. I'm going to check out the portal. I'm leaving comments in there. My team's going to be in there answering you. Hopefully I'll get some time later on today to say hello to you as you join the portal. Then this coming Monday is module 1, this Monday. So I don't know what the date is on that, like September 30th or something like that. That is the first module, and then we're going to do a module every week. So actually, by the time 2019 hits, you are going to have gone through the entire course, and you might well have launched. If you go back, Eric, lesson 2, Eric teaches accountants. He joined in September last year, 1 year ago. 1 year ago he joined. Launched in November. Joined PLF in September, launched in November, $10,000 seed launch. Follow up, because of the launch echo, the launch positioning, he made another 100,000. I think, if my memory serves, there's a lot of numbers flying around, but go watch that case study. I think he made about another $100,000. And he's an accountant, right? 28 years as an accountant. And so he counts his numbers. He knows his numbers. So go watch that case study. Get them, I'm pretty sure it was another 100,000 in coaching. He couldn't have gotten that coaching business if he didn't have a position of the seed launch. And now this year, so that was last September when he joined. He joined last September. And when we were rolling out our old version, our not nearly as good version last year, registered in September, launched in November. Now this year, we're 9 months into this year now, he's already done $200,000 in business. In that case study, he said when he joined PLF, he didn't even have an idea yet. He got the idea within PLF. 2 months later, did the launch. Now this year, we're 9 months into the year, he's already done $200,000. None of this is an income claim. None of this is a promise. Everyone's results are different. The typical result is, you're just going to watch what I'm talking about and not do anything. If you don't do anything, you're not going to get results. But if you're like Eric and you join and you put it to work, none of this is theory. None of it's theory. It's all been proven over and over and again. So sorry, got off on a little bit of a rant. Coaching doesn't start in 2019. It starts like 5 minutes from now if you enter your credit card. And that launch journey call with me, if you join today, is on 2 days from now, on Wednesday, module 1 next Monday, and then we are rolling. And lots of times people say, Jeff, next 2 weeks I'm traveling, I can't do it. You can catch up. Basically the way this works is you get 12 months of coaching here. You get 12 months of coaching. And then we always take care of our PLF owners. So a lot of times, people say, do we have lifetime access? And so I don't like to say lifetime access because who knows how long my lifetime is going to be, right? Who knows, and software systems break. So I think it's a little disingenuous to say lifetime access. But what you get is that for you join PLF today, and then each year we upgrade you to the latest version. There's a small maintenance fee. The maintenance fee is just $197. So everyone who's joined us for the last, back to 2005, they get this brand new version of PLF for $197. You'll get that same thing. You'll get on that where every year we'll say, hey, do you want to re-up and get the latest version? And it's just this maintenance fee. Boom. So that allows us to stay in the game. It allows our people to stay in the game. And we have people like Susan since 2009. She's been part of our community. Amazing. Okay, next question. How many coaching hours are included? So I don't know. I don't know how it would all add up. Basically, we have 9 weeks of coaching calls. The 9 weeks, the coaching calls are amazing because you get on the call, the other PLF owners get on the call, you get to ask your questions, you get to hear from everyone else's questions. Now, the way this works is the first call, not everyone's going to get their question answered. And second call, not everyone gets their question answered. But by the time you get a few more calls in, everyone gets their question answered. It's amazing. And you don't only get your questions answered, you get to hear from everyone else. You get to hear everyone else's questions and the answers. These calls are extraordinary. So typically what I try to do is I tell my coaches, do 90-minute calls. Do 90-minute calls and then get off. Because, it's just people, they have to go to the bathroom, their bladders get full, right? Usually my coaches go longer than 90 minutes. And then I get grumpy with them. I'm like, I think it's better to be 90 minutes, but they usually go longer. But let's just say it's 9 times 90 minutes for those first 9 calls. So that adds up to 13 and a half hours, I think. So 13 and a half hours, but then 12 months, once a month, we're going to do another call. So that's another, 9 or 10 months. So I don't know, it's probably going to be 25 hours or more of coaching. Boom. How long is the program? When does it start and finish? It starts on Monday, goes for 9 weeks. The reality is we're going to keep on releasing more and more stuff. I told you about all those bonuses. There's bonuses I didn't even mention. We're going to have a long-term relationship. We front load it, so all the stuff that applies to the most people goes early in the program, but the reality is I'm going to keep on delivering more and more goodies for you for months. So the bulk of the program starts Monday and goes for 9 weeks from there. I can't do the calendar math right now, but that's what it is. Heshi says, or asks, is there a list of everything included? If you click the button right now, you'll go over and you'll get the highlights of everything. Like I just said, the reality is there's extra bonuses that aren't even listed. Like I forgot to even talk about, we've got an entire, there's a book, I think it's a book module. There's a book launch, or it's entire book launch bonus. I forgot to even mention that. And there's like Facebook advertising bonus. Didn't even mention that. So there's all kinds of, I've had, since 2005, 13 years to keep on making it better and better and better and adding to it. And my goal is to get you launched. So it's like, we're going to do what it takes to get you launched. So we have built out a premier program. There isn't anything like this in the industry. It's a premier program that's got you covered. Sort of answered this already. Okay, wait, here we go. How long is this offer available? The full offer to get, including that bonus call with me, ends tonight at midnight. Then to just get into product launch formula, right now we anticipate it being open through Friday of this week. So if you want to get on board and get this bonus, you gotta act quickly. Does PLF coaching or the bonuses address the technical aspect of creating a course online? That's yes. Like we're going to have the bonus tech stack, which part of that is going to be your delivery, but also we have the product creation code, that course, which is all about creating your product. M. Kendrick says, did I understand correctly? Any extra stuff that may be added during this open cart, theoretically, if anything is added, will it be added to everyone's PLF package who registers today? So yes, short answer, yes. Personally, and this is what I think you should do, is if you should never penalize the people that jump on board with you. You should, especially the people that jump on board quickly, you should reward those people that jump on board quickly. So I always follow that. I think you should do the same. I've seen people do this where it's like they mess it up. They add bonuses later in their cart week that people that bought earlier don't get. I mean, that's just completely messed up. You want to reward the people that jump in early. So if you jump in right now, you get that launch journey call, coaching call with me directly. But if we theoretically add anything else during this cart week, I don't know what else we could possibly add because it is so complete. It's so amazing. But if we add, yes, you will get everything. The best way to get the best experience is to go fill out the form right now and join us in PLF. And like I said, within minutes, you'll be in the portal. The community is already forming. I see this happen. And can we go to that list, by the way? Let's jump to that list. So yes, we will absolutely, you'll get everything. Today is the day to join. Today is the best day to join. There was a comment that came in that was like, it was about during Susan's case study, and it's like, wow, it must be awesome. You know, Susan was really in the right place at the right time. And the reality is this is the right place in the right time for you. It's the right place. Now is your time. Now is your time to create your destiny. I remember years ago, it was from Tony Robbins, I first heard this idea of designing your life. And when I heard that, I was a stay-at-home dad. I was taking care of 2 babies. My wife was supporting a family. I was making 0 income, and I had made 0 income for about 4 or 5 years. This wasn't like sometimes you hear about in these days about the stay-at-home dad. You're like, the guy sells his .com for $30 million, and then he takes some time off to be with the kids. That wasn't this case. I was a corporate failure. I quit my job because I couldn't make it in the corporate world. I was a failure there. I quit my job about a week before they would fire me. But I heard Tony say, you can design your life. So right now is when you can design your life. You know, there's this saying, does life happen to you, or does life happen for you? It's a good question to ponder. Does your life happen to you, or does it happen for you? Do things happen to you, or do you make things happen? This is the formula to make things happen. If you've been in a situation where for this masterclass, all of a sudden you have different thoughts going through your head, you see new possibilities. Well, welcome to my world. That's the world I walk in every single day. The world where I can just look around and see possibilities and create. And what I've created is a community around me, my PLF community, my beloved PLF owners. I created this community of people that are creating unbelievable, incredible lives, that have lifestyles that they couldn't have dreamed of. Luis Carlos Flores said in his case study, where he's doing the parenting, teaching people to be great parents in Mexico. He's like, I didn't see this coming, because he has an amazing income. He's living in Mexico. He's teaching parents how to be better parents. All his products in Spanish. He's teaching Latin America, Mexico, Spain. It's like, I did not expect this. This isn't the life I expected. But he's got an incredible income, and he's helping hundreds of thousands. Actually, over 1 million people on Facebook are following. Hundreds of thousands. Did a list build of 229,000 in his launch, whereas before he was working one-on-one with people, and he was just slaving away, just going and speaking to people that didn't want to hear what he had to say about parenting, that were forced into that. They were forced by the authorities to listen to him talk about parenting. He went from there to being in front of hundreds of thousands of people who eagerly want his knowledge and his wisdom, both him and his wife, on how to be better parents. It's like, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this money coming. I didn't see this impact coming. I didn't see this lifestyle coming. I didn't see being able to hang out in this PLF community with amazing, incredible people that are designing their own lives. That's what this is about. So now is your time. Yes, 2009 was a time for Susan, but the reality is what you get in PLF, what she got in PLF was probably about 20% of what's currently in product launch formula. She didn't get the tech quick start bonus. She didn't get the book launch campaign. She didn't get the product creation code or launching your list. She didn't get the Sparta training or the Operation Quick Start. I mean, all this stuff, it wasn't there. She didn't get any Facebook training because Facebook wasn't even a thing back then. Now is your time. There's never been a better time. We're seeing faster growth and faster results from our PLF owners than we've ever seen before because the tools are simply better. Both the tools within Product Launch Formula, but also the tools to create all your pages, the tools to create your courses, the tools to advertise and bring people in. It's all better than it's ever been. Now is the time. Now is your time. Now is your time. Now is the time to start designing your life. So some quick shout outs. We have Michael joined us from Dallas, Luca from Sassania, I'm not sure what country that is, Linda from Cooley Dam, Washington, Jody from Oregon, John from Westlake Village, Panagoita from Athens, sorry if I messed up your name, Joy from La Crosse, Wisconsin, Heather from Flagstaff, Arizona, Sandra from Virginia, Louise from Guatemala, Ruth from Waterford, Michigan, John from Rainham, not sure where that's at, Robert from London, Ontario, Jackie from Yonkers, Tom from Vista, California, Beverly from Lakeland, Florida, Nishit from New York, Meg from Grapevine, Texas, Jay from Pasco, James from Fresco, Alexander from Marburg, Germany, Asmina from Vancouver, Canada. This is crazy. It just goes on and on and on. I'm sorry if I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's name. We got Rhodey from Mexico City, Lois from Fillmore, Saskatchewan, Denise from Switzerland, Frank from Boca Raton, Alan from the UK staying up late in the UK. We've got Claire staying up late, South Glamorgan from the UK. We've got Paul from the UK staying with us. We've got Evelyn from the UK. We got all the UK. We've got Tony got up early in New Zealand. We've got Grisette in Belgium. This is incredible. Another Terry from Australia is getting up early with us. Absolutely amazing. Do we have any more questions? Do we have any more questions left? Esther says, is Facebook paid campaigns to build up lists covering the coaching course? Yes, we got your back. Stephen, do you help us decide on which idea to focus on first when I have several ideas, products, brands to launch? This would be frankly, I mean, we don't have a video saying, okay, Stephen, I know you got to think about this, and this. Let's talk about which to launch. This is the type of question that would get answered on a coaching call. You know, that's where we would address that type of thing. Philip asks, are the courses being documented, PDF and downloadable? Yes, you can download everything. And we have transcripts, and they're good transcripts. They're not like transcripts where we just took, the raw transcripts that are horrible and, slam them out there. We actually create good transcripts for you. Those are all downloadable. There's action guides, there's checklists, there's skeletons. By that I mean skeleton scripts where you sort of fill in the blank. There's, you're talking about transcripts. There's audios that are downloadable. There's videos that are downloadable. Yeah, you can just download it all. I mean, it's comprehensive. It's comprehensive. So we did have a question on PLF owners. So if you're already a PLF owner, look in your email inbox and we'll have a special link for you. That special link will take you to where you can just upgrade for $197 because we got your back. We have a saying in our company that we always take care of our PLF owners. So basically, we do have people that bought from us in 2005, and they're still on board with us, that are still getting this all new. I mean, 2005, we just sent out a box of, CDs and a DVD and a couple books. We have come a long way. But the people that joined us back in 2005, they are still on board with us, and it's just a $197 maintenance fee to get the absolute latest version of PLF. So we are winding down here. If I do the math right, we are just short of 13 hours in this launch masterclass. And it's been a lot of work. My team's done an amazing job of supporting me. Those 13 hours, I've actually also done about probably 10 hours of practice sessions, because every day before we do this, we do a practice session, a dress rehearsal. And we've been working hard, trying to bring the value to you, trying to put you in a situation where you can launch. So whether you just take my free training and go rock it, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. But I hope you consider joining me in Product Launch Formula Coaching Program, because if you think we put a lot of effort into creating a great masterclass, that's 1/10 the effort that we put into PLF. We've been building the coaching program. We took last year's coaching program and the year before's, which were great. I mean, you've seen the results. You've seen the case studies. So we've got just incredible results. But we said, how can we complete, if we're starting with a blank sheet of paper, what can we do better? What else can we do? And you know what? We ended up reusing, well, not reusing. We didn't reuse it. But we ended up with 80% of the good stuff and said, you know what? We just need to freshen this. We need to make this better. We need to make it more actionable, but this really does serve. And then we added the other 20%. Like, what little cracks were we missing? What could we fill in? How can we make this video better? How can we make this download better? How can we make this action guide better? How can we add in more examples? Because I love to learn from example, and I know people love to learn from example. How can we build in more examples so that it was just more actionable, more real, more doable? Because at the end of the day, it's about moving you to a launch. So that's what we're at. And okay, one more question from Julie. If I sign up and don't go as fast as the class, will it still work for me? How can I avoid overwhelm? Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, avoiding overwhelm is part of the training. I've got that built in for you. Avoiding overwhelm is part of the training. And yes, you can take this at your own pace. You don't have to go with us 9 straight weeks. And you know what? Most people do take a break here or there. That's just fine. We've built it to serve you. And that's why we've got 12 months of coaching calls for you. 12 months. That's what you've got. I'd love to see you do it in 3 weeks, like Susan did. But not everyone moves as quickly as Susan. So you can take your time. You can go at your pace. We're going to go for 9 weeks, and then we're going to have follow-up. The community is there for the next year. The Facebook alumni group is there for the next year. The coaching calls are there for the next year. It's awesome. It's awesome. And you can be part of it starting 5 minutes from now. Or if you got fast fingers and can get all your information entered in that order form, it could be 2 minutes from now and you're in there. There are people already in the PLF portal, building a community, helping each other out, just being stoked, being excited because they realize now is the time and they stepped up into their future. It's like time to design the future. Boom, there you are. So again, I really, we're coming up on 3 hours. We do actually have a super secret segment coming up. It's gonna be tight, but look forward to if you stick around for the super secret. And that's about all I've got for you. That's about all I've got. We're gonna keep this launch masterclass up for you through Friday. Probably gonna have a few little extra goodies for you, just a little icing on the cake. But if you join me right now, then on Wednesday, we're going to be on that launch journey coaching call. So that piece, that special bonus ends tonight at midnight. And I hope you join me in Product Launch Formula Coaching Program 2019. I just want you to launch. I just want you to create an amazing life and go out there and create a great lifestyle for yourself and go out there and create a huge positive impact in the world. If you want to give me thanks in any way for these 13 hours that we've gone, that's the best. Just go out there and just lead an amazing life. Lead an amazing life, help people out, create great impact. Go out there and create something. And I hope to see you in the coaching program. The button right down below, click on over, and I'll see you inside the PLF portal. Super secret segment, boom. So Launch Masterclass is a wrap. This is our final super secret segment. Thanks for playing along if you've been with me. You know, I told you right from the start in the super secret segment that I'm doing a launch, and that's what we did. This is the first ever live launch. So actually, we did so we broke the rules. That's the thing is, this process of product launch formula has been evolving from 2005, and it keeps on evolving. So I broke the rules. I did 4 pieces, basically. I did 3 pieces of pre-launch content, delivered a 4th, and then morphed it into a sales message. So it's new. But I followed the exact same formula I've been following for 20 years of delivering value, value, value. And the early results, we've already had over 100 people join into the Product Launch Formula Coaching Program. So it works. I can't say I'm surprised, but we're still sort of jumping off a diving board and trying to do it live. So you don't have to do yours live. The thing is, you can do it via video, you could do it via live, you could do it via email. Just get it done, get launched. And that's what I've got for you. So, this is your last time I'm going to talk about it here. Tonight, midnight, join by tonight, midnight Pacific US time, and you'll get that special bonus, the launch journey bonus. And when we talk, when I unmute your line and we talk, then be sure to tell me you stuck around for this super secret segment. It's been fun doing these. It's been fun seeing your comments. It's funny because it's been, 10, 11 days since the start of this, and just even the light in here, because we've got a lot of big windows that you can't see, big windows, and the light has been streaming in, and we've been able to deal with the light. But now I actually moved back here because there's this weird highlight on me, just because in the last 11 days, the sun has changed so much, so now I've got this weird light coming in that we're having to deal with. So it's been a great journey to be on with you, my super secret segment, folks. And I've had a ton of fun, and I think we've helped a lot of people, and we're about to help a ton of people in the Product Launch Formula Coaching Program. I hope you join me there. Thanks for sticking around for this super secret segment.